One and we're live! Hello all and welcome back to the INVICTUS stream! My name as always is Mr. Harlan Guthrie and I am here with the one, the only, the handsome and fanciful Mr. Justin Thomas James! Oh. And the lovely, talented Ms. Jo Fallak!
Hello!
And we are here this wonderful Wednesday night to bring you a one-shot adventure using our favorite system, the end of the world, called The Longest Summer. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is, of course, Wednesday night, and we are, of course, the INVICTUS stream. We bring you role-playing games every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Come rain, come shine, come magnum, come larder. Magnum, come larder. And it is a lot of fun to be here with you guys tonight. We missed you. It's been a long week. We missed you too, Joe. You weren't here last week, were you?
No, I wasn't. I had to work.
You were on the worky bench. There's a bench you work at. And we are back. We were planning on doing Call of Cthulhu tonight. You may have noticed that this isn't Call of Cthulhu. Unfortunately, one of our guest streamers for Call of Cthulhu, the handsome Rob Donaldson, had a last minute...
Rob Theobald.
Oh, sorry. I'm so confused because Rob Donaldson is so handsome. I like say the name and then it slips my tongue. Sorry, the handsome Rob Theobald couldn't make it. Something popped up with him, so we were wishing him the best of luck with whatever he's dealing with. Here's a round for you, bud. Oh. But that's okay, because you know what? We're going to have a great game tonight. Tonight, we are dipping back into the old mine shaft and pulling out a classic, The End of the World. I should do that. It makes more sense. That's right. The End of the World is a role-playing game by Fantasy Flight Games. It is a great one-shot option, especially for last-minute pickup games. And tonight, we are not only going to be running the entire game for you, but we're also going to be showing you how to create a character really quickly in a simplified way for Justin and Joe to create characters in this system. And that way, if you're watching this video, you can create a character along and play it on your own. So there you go. You get the whole package tonight. You get the game, you get the joy of hanging out with us, and you get the rules system. How are you guys doing tonight? Joe, Justin, what's up?
Joyful, joyful Lord, we adore thee. I feel like watching
Sister Act.
Sister Act 2.
When don't you feel like looking where to watch a Sister Act 2? Because I always
I feel like looking at a Sister Act.
Oh, okay, not watching it. Just
not watching it. I just want to look at it.
That's all you really need. That's really the point of life, looking at Sister Act. But it sounds like you're feeling good. What about you, Joe?
That's me injecting caffeine into my veins.
Because you're tired. You're still wearing your contacts, though, I noticed.
Yeah, well, it may surprise you to know that Petra takes a long time to get ready for the stream. So I had my whole situation going on, and then Rob let us know that he wouldn't be able to make it. So I don't want to fuck with my eyes too much. It takes me like 25 minutes to put in the contacts still. So they're just going to be here for the next
Look at the dedication from this girl. You get a round of crickets. That's better than applause. This is the crickets clapping.
I love the sound of crickets.
In the morning?
I do too. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
That reminds me of living in the country, being a teenager, hearing the crickets outside my window.
Reminds me of eating them. Tonight is going to be an 18-plus game. If you're uncomfortable with no-no words such as pee-pee, poo-poo, ding-dong, cock, then go ahead and close the video down. We're not going to force you to hear the words you don't want to hear. However, you already heard them.
So there.
So hearing them more, it's not going to change anything. I remember my Uncle Dan always used to say, whenever we'd go over to their house and rent a movie, if it was like rated whatever, he'd be like, what's it rated R for? Are there swears in it, sex, or violence? And we'd be like, swears? He's like, that's fine. You heard it once, you heard it 100 times. It doesn't matter. But sex and violence was different. So using the Uncle Dan method, you already heard it. You might as well stick around. But if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video. You like a video by pressing the thumbs up button, and a quarter gets drawn from your pocket. No, it doesn't cost you anything. In fact, I heard every time you like it, a quarter stays in your pocket. So the cash gnomes that are running around trying to steal money from you, they're going to leave it alone if you like that video. So make sure you make that.
those cash gnomes are just a myth.
Are they related to the Tooth Fairy in any way?
Just wait till you see tonight's game, because you're not going to think there's so much of a myth. What else are we doing? 18 plus. Of course, follow us on Discord. The Discord link is in the description of this video. We do all of our talking to the people in Discord. Hi, Bjorn and Carly and Lichip Beef, Jacob Watterson and John, and everybody, and everybody everywhere.
What else? We had an amazing time at Breakout Con.
I was gonna get to that. I forgot. I'm trying to do my write up, which is Facebook. Before we get to Breakout Con, I just want to say no. Hey, I get it. You thought I dropped the ball. Harlan doesn't drop the ball. He just punts it in another direction. Pretends that
he drops the ball, but surprise, there's a different ball, and this is actually the one you want to be paying attention to. Here it is.
Magic, as my son would say, putting it around his back, which also...
Magic!
Yeah, magic. Anyway, Facebook. If you are not part of our Facebook group, make sure you join the Facebook group. The Facebook group is where we get together and we hang out, we chat, and we chit-chat, and it's where all the cool people hang out, and it's where... if you have a chance to contribute, you have a chance to win Most Valuable Post. Most Valuable Post is the post of the week that we distinguish amongst the rest. We grant XP to the people who win Most Valuable Post. And when you have XP, you can spend it in-game, especially on games like tonight. Tonight, you're going to have ways that you can give advantages to the players to complete the quest. Quest? You'll see. Sort of.
End of the world quests.
Quest?
I need you to fetch me 12 zombie brains.
I was reading, they're making a Witcher Netflix series, and I was reading it, and they're like, it was just like a joke. It was like an Onion type article. And it was like, filming for Witcher series continues to stop as main actor playing Geralt continues to halt production for side quests. Because it's like the main story always gets stopped for that.
I like it. That's
crickets clapping. But yeah, I'm excited for tonight. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, blah blah blah. And the Most Valuable Post this week is, hopefully, I've given Joe long enough to scan for one.
Yes, indeed. Today I would like to give the Most Valuable Post to someone who posted about St. Patrick's Day. Oh. The one and only Jesse Ellis. Jessie made a whole series of leprechaun hats and a letter. As far as I understand, she distributed them and hid them throughout the neighborhood.
So cute.
For all the the neighborhood kids to find. And there's candy involved, so I fucking love it. As far as I know, Jessie is, I don't think I've seen her name before, so I always want to encourage new people to hang out with us and to post what they have going on in their lives. And this is like a very cute craft activity, very into crafts. So A+ on that leprechaun hat craft that you made.
Well done, Jesse, and happy St. Patrick's Day to anybody who celebrates it. Now going back 2 minutes ago to what Joe was talking about. Yeah, this weekend was Breakout Con. Rob Diobald, not Donaldson, but Diobald would be very happy to report on how successful a weekend it was, but I'll do it for him. Oh, I was gonna impersonate him, but I think that'd be mean. It was great. It was a lot of success. A lot of beautiful things happened. A lot of great people came out. We got to run a ton.
Highest attendance so far for any
yeah, year over year it grows.
Numbers.
And
it's reached a breaking point.
Next year it'll go down. Breakout point. I mean.
This is the pinnacle.
Just the pinnacle. This is the tippy top.
Is that breaking point? I feel like breaking point is like, it's like growing, and then next year it's going to be huge. It's just going to explode.
No, that's the blowing point. That's the
blowing point?
That's the point in which I
melting
blow.
point? The melting pot?
The milking point. That's when it's like just ready to be milked. But then it's all empty and shit.
Milk me!
I think cows really enjoy being milked. I think they do.
No. No, they don't.
I think they're kind of like,
I think it depends on your technique.
I'm pretty sure I've seen some cartoons that showed me they like to get milk.
Joe types in all caps, alright enough. That's good. Anyway, yeah, Breakout Con was a huge success. Joe ran a ton of awesome games. She ran a D&D AL Epic, which had...
Yeah.
Tell us.
For those of you who don't know, Adventurers League conventions, any place where there are enough players doing Adventurers League can apply to Wizards of the Coast to do an epic. We ran an epic, which meant everyone who was playing at a table in the one room was playing in like a shared environment and working towards a common goal. So this was D&D in space. It was very exciting. I think there was about 20 tables of people playing. There are like NPCs who wander around and interact with the tables, selling magic items and fighting your players. And we had a blast. I had a 13 or 14-year-old girl at my table who was telling me that she DMs for her friends at school and the library. I was really excited to meet her. And I believe Jeff was there. I saw him in the crowd, I think, at the Tier 1 tables. Anyway, everyone had a great time, and we ended up defeating the mothership by the end of the night. So much fun was had by all.
Yeah, I was jealous I didn't get to play. I ran Call of Cthulhu, Don't Walk in Winter Wood, and End of the World. Like tonight. I had a bunch of great people that I met and played with. Some of you might be watching, more than likely not. Because they didn't seem to like it that much, and it was a lot of fun. So BreakoutCon is a fantastic convention. I hope that next year you go. I'm talking to Justin. No, it was a really, really great time. We had some great memories, and good congrats to Rob for pulling it off. I think he just had to lay back. Oh my God, it's a disgusting picture. And,
ew.
Had to lay back and relax from BreakoutCon. So anyway. Into tonight's game. Oh, before I go before Harlan leaves and the GM master comes out.
Oh boy.
Happy birthday to Henry. My little boy turned 2 today. I'm so proud of him for just living.
Happy birthday,
I should be proud of me for keeping him alive this long. Yeah, we had a really beautiful day. Woke up, breakfast, and went for a walk, and I gave him his present amongst all the presents he's got. He got one today. So yeah, happy birthday, Henry. Not that you're gonna watch this, but who knows, maybe one day when your dad's dead you want to go back and watch all these videos to remember the sound of my voice, and you can come across this and be like, oh, Dad.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Stop it.
Anyway, so yeah, happy birthday, Henry. Now into the End of the World Alien Invasion. Ladies and gentlemen, the End of the World is a game. It was too quick. I have to do a big pause. The End of the World. Alien Invasion. Well, hi there. If you're watching this video, you want to learn how to play Alien Invasion, The End of the World. Switch that by Fantasy Flight Games. First, you're going to need a character sheet. If you don't have a character sheet, Google it. Because I'm not your dad.
Well, wait.
Oh, you found it!
For Mr. Guthrie, sir.
Did you already start?
Maybe.
Yeah, Justin and I were building characters while you were making
The whole
notes.
time.
You don't have to build character, you're just playing yourself.
I know.
Yeah.
We still have to decide our positive and negative attributes.
I did
It's
that too.
very stressful.
It is very stressful.
I haven't finished mine yet. So.
Okay, well that's good because we're going to walk through it real quick anyway. Oh, I should mention Chronicle Brewing Night. We're doing another wonderful Chronicle Brewing Night on the 13th. Jesus Christ, I cannot speak tonight. It is on the 13th of April. Come out and visit us. It is in Bowmanville. Google Chronicle Brewery. Do it. I'm not going to tell you the address.
Google it. Not your dad.
This is a character, unless this is Henry from the future, in which case...
I am your dad.
I'm sorry.
I'm your dad.
I'm your dad. Okay, this is a character sheet for the End of the World. Yeah. I guess it's mirrored, isn't it? Let me fix that.
Nope. Oh, wait, for them it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Oops. There we go.
Mirror.
There we go. So there's the End of the World character sheet. So you can find this anywhere online. It's pretty easy to do. One of the great things about the End of the World is that you get to play yourself. It's a game where you get to sort of put the things that you are strongest at on paper and have them affect the way you play the game and how successful you are playing the game. So One of the best things that you can do when playing this game is think about yourself for a long time beforehand. Just sit in the dark and think about how much of a person you are and whether you like that person. But in all seriousness, you're going to have 10 points to allocate between the first 3 categories here: physical, mental, and social. I say the first 3 even though there's only 3. And each of these categories is broken down into an offensive and defensive skill. So you can see dexterity is the offensive. It's got a little sword down here in the corner. And you see vitality is the defensive because it's got a little shield. All of these start at 1, meaning to raise it to 2 is 1 point. And you have 10 points to allocate across these 6 categories, 6 lines, I should say, or whatever, based on you. So if you are a particularly dexterous person, you might want to put 2 points into that category, bringing it to 2 to 3. If you are a vitality driven person, if you're a person with high vitality, you might want to spend more points in that. And you have 10 to allocate across these various categories. Since these guys have already started, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've already allocated, friends?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
So we have 10 total points to spend, correct?
Correct. And everything starts at 1, meaning to move it to 2 costs 1.
Yes. So I have roughly allocated my points thusly, and I am entertaining argument about about the allocation. So I have my physical stats as a dexterity 2, vitality 2, my mental stats as a logic 3, willpower 2, and my social stats as charisma 3, empathy 4.
And that's the entirety of your stats?
That's all the points I got.
I think
right?
you should
1,
have...
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep.
Okay, well, right off the bat, I think you need more logic because you're definitely smarter. So why don't you bump that up 1?
That's just because you're in love with me.
No, that's, well, it's part, but also true. So bump that up 1 at no cost. I'll let you spend an additional point there.
Okay,
And
so bump up.
logic.
Sorry, which one? Logic 1?
Yeah. So now you're at what, 3 or 4? 4?
For some reason, all of the things that I just did have gone out the window. So, physical, I'm a dex 2, vitality 2. What did I say, everyone? Logic.
Well, we know your memory is in the pits.
No, clearly.
Just kidding.
Social, I had 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I did logic 3, willpower 2. And you're saying I should be a logic 4?
Correct. So you won't have to cost anything. I'll just let you do it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's right. Okay, thank you. What do you have for your stats, Justin?
Yeah, so I went with kind of a caricature of a certain aspect of myself, because I think we all have like strong days and logical days and charismatic days, and I'm going with kind of obsessive compulsive, can't sleep, is overthinking everything, and is having brilliant ideas, manic Justin.
Jesus.
You okay?
Are you okay? Do we need to talk, bud?
No. Let me talk about these stats. So
This is more important.
This is more important.
I'm busy.
I'm busy. Dexterity 3, vitality 1, logic 5, willpower 2, charisma 4, and empathy 1. I don't give a shit about anybody but myself.
What?
Wow.
Who is this? Sorry, this isn't you. Even in your most manic, you don't have a 1 empathy.
Screw you.
That's mean. That's not lack of empathy. So you're playing you, but with a bit of like a version of yourself to the extreme. To
Like a caricaturized version of myself.
Okay, so you're doing this more for because you're sort of bored of playing yourself in every one of these.
Because I've played this a number of times.
Gotcha.
I've played the balanced kind of like, I'm pretty dexterous, I'm pretty vital, I'm pretty logical, willpower is generally pretty low.
Totally.
But I'm pretty charismatic or whatever. Just always along the middle. So I'm just doing something a bit more extreme with some lows.
Okay, I think that's a fun way to play it. I will say, out of the last 10 end of the worlds that I've played, This is probably going to be closer to the original ones where it's truer to life. That being said, I think you should play it however you want to play it. But I do not believe that you are one empathy, and I don't think you're extremes on any of these spectrums. But if you want to play it as a caricature, I support it. I just don't want you to walk away from this thinking that anyone thinks that you are a 1 empathy or a 5 logic.
No, not at all. Or a 1 vitality. I mean, it's all relative, really.
Yeah. No, totally. We'll play it up like you haven't had a nap in 2 days. Actually, there you go. You haven't had a nap in 2 days. That's 1 vitality, 1 empathy. That's grumpy Justin.
Yeah.
And you've taken cocaine, so you're wired.
Yes, I have. Well, yeah. Exactly.
No, there you go.
So that's what I'm calling.
Fine by me. Okay, so you have the stats. For me, I've gone for more of the honest approach. Not honest approach, I mean the boring approach. I went for 2 dexterity, 2 vitality, 3 logic, 2 willpower, 4 charisma, and 3 empathy. So I kind of went straight across the line. And I'm going to change that. I'm going to go 5 charisma and 2 empathy because I'm not as empathetic and I'm more charismatic. So that's moi and toi and tu. That's the words. Next, we're going to move on to features. So if you filled out those top lines, you should have them circled right along here. Just your various dots and circles and whatnots. Below, you'll see there are boxes called features. Features are dedicated to 1 positive and negative trait, sort of like a active text, you know, like in italics below a magic card or something. When you play it, it's like the descriptor a little bit. This is flavor text to describe you, a positive and a negative feature in each of these categories. In a physical sense, it could be not a long distance runner. In a mental sense, it could be bad sense of direction. It could be a lot of things. That was meant to be directed at Joe, but you couldn't see her face in reaction.
Thanks.
I mean it the best way possible. So yeah, so I saw that some of you guys had already had some things written down.
Should I start?
Sure. Do you have all of them?
I've got well, apparently I have a bad sense of direction.
Oh,
so
you
I need
don't.
to
I'm just being funny.
reconsider.
Hey, you are perfect to me.
For my physical, again, like Justin, I'm sort of trying to move away from some of the standard tropes that I automatically choose for this game, just to make it more interesting for myself. So for my physical positive, I have sneaky.
Ooh, are you?
Yeah, I think I can walk very quietly. I recently had a stranger hammering on my front door in the middle of the night, and I sneakily approached the door and peeked out to see if I could see who was on the other side. And while I was doing it, I was like, "Hey, I'm pretty good at this." So sneaky is my positive physical.
Good.
My negative is that I'm not a distance runner.
Okay.
That's pretty self-explanatory. My mental positive is wound care. I know how to take care of cuts and abrasions pretty okay. My negative for mental was going to be need a lot of sleep.
You do.
Yeah, I do.
I've seen you fall asleep while standing, waiting for the train.
Incorrect. But
Wouldn't
if you would like to posit, yeah. I mean, I fell asleep on the streetcar today. Does that count? If you would posit that it would be more interesting for me to have a bad sense of direction in game, then that's doable.
I think needing sleep will be more detrimental in game, but
so that's fun then.
However you want to do it.
And then my social, I have blank still.
Blank still. Is that sort of like you can't, you have...
I'm both joke. Blank and still.
I can read out some social features if you like, positive and negative.
Sure.
So here's some examples that the books give. Always smiling, snappy dresser, excellent liar, wheeler and dealer, natural leader, extremely attractive. Would work for you. Some negative would be anxiety, too honest, short temper, easily pressured, terrible liar, misanthrope.
So
those are some examples. While you think, Justin, why don't you read us your features?
All right, so I kind of did a bit of a revamp um, here on the physical. I'm gonna stick with a solid sprinter
Okay.
because I can sprint pretty well, but then I'm not very good at long distance. But instead of going with the poor long distance runner, I'm gonna go with loud walker because I've never done that before.
You definitely
And I
are.
am
You know what? That is literally something that Harlan has mentioned to me about you. Is like, you know what? Justin walks really loud.
I do walk really loud, and it's because I've got big feet.
Yeah.
I'm 6'6",
Yeah.
and because I have no control over my body. So
I wouldn't say that you lumber, but there is an aspect of lumbering.
it's kind of a lean forward and then kind of fall, and
It's just
just at the last second put my foot in front of me to stop myself and shutter the house. I like the sound of footsteps.
you like the house to know that you're there.
Burning down the house.
Because I don't like to sneak up on people. I don't like that awkward situation where like you come around the corner and people are like making out. You're like, oh, sorry. Like, I'd like to announce my presence with.
Who are you with that's constantly making out around every corner?
Oh my God! You should see living with my dad. It's great.
I said I was sorry. That was one time. Implying that I kissed you dead.
Mentally, I'm going with
Your dad and I liked it. Sorry.
Joe suggested needs a schedule, and that was the opposite of something. The opposite of
Spontaneous.
So like really like scheduled and like doesn't like controlled, I guess.
Mm.
You know.
Is that positive or what are you? Is this for positive?
That's a negative.
For controlled?
Yeah,
Need
very.
the schedule.
Oh, needs.
Yeah, so, like I can't like. I could like spin that as a positive, but I'm thinking of it more of a negative that I'm not like. I will hesitates.
That's much better. There you go. Think of this in terms of the game too, not like cannot bake a banana bread to save my life. Well, unless they're banana bread zombies.
And for positive, I'm going with thinks outside the box.
Nice.
And then for charisma, I'm going with pushover. But then I'm also going with positive assertive when under pressure.
That's
So, like,
very interesting.
Yeah, I kind of become a leader when nobody else is doing it.
I also, for my social, chose easily persuaded. So pushover.
You guys, just because you're my friends, you're like attributing these negative statistics because I am a natural leader.
That's right, Harlan.
I played this with somebody at the convention who was a nice guy. If you're watching this, this isn't directed at you, but it really is. Who picked natural leader, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a natural leader because like I get people to do what I want." And I'm like, "Okay." And then in game, he was like, "We need to go rescue my friends." And everyone else at the table was like, zombie apocalypse was like, "No." And he's like, "Listen, we're gonna rescue my friends because this is what they do. They have the keys. They're gonna help us, or else." And everyone else at the table was like, "All right, it's not worth the argument." And he looked at me and he was like, "Natural leader." I was like,
Just because people don't want to argue with
that's
you
not a
anymore.
natural leader. That's just quarterbacking the game to the point where people are like realizing it's worse to try to fight it. It was kind of shitty, but I killed them, so it worked out well. Gotcha. No, he was a sweet guy. If you're watching, Francois, no offense, but also consider maybe you quarterback games. You know, use it as a teaching lesson. So you both took pushover, but also Justin, you took leadership when pushed upon or when set upon. Or
when under pressure. When under pressure, I think more too like when, and I've got an entire paragraph written here about this. That's positive. I've written down my entire psychological analysis. But yeah, I think it's like when nobody else is taking the role, I'll step up to fill the role, I guess.
Yes, you will take charge.
Steps up.
Steps
For
up.
my social positive, I chose good speaky. I thought you might like that.
I love that. That's so good. I speak it a good. Do it. That's fucking funny.
What's yours?
He just told you.
No,
oh,
you
me.
weren't.
I'm a character. Right. Let's do physical negative is just like out of shape. That's not even debatable. Positive physical, let's say I have good hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
I'm really good at, like, I would say
90% of the mini games on fucking Mario Party, you are there.
I think it's more for like mouse and keyboard, and probably with, I mean, I haven't held a gun, but anytime I've used like a BB gun or something, I'm pretty good with like aim.
Sure.
So I'll do that. Mental, let's say logic and willpower, pretty medium. Logic, I will say is, I wasn't doing this, I forgot.
It's a hard thing to come up with.
Well, I should have been thinking about it passively. Logic,
I would say, oh no, that's more of a physical. You're a good driver.
I am.
That's probably not going to come into play.
Thank you. Logic, I'm a good problem solver. I am. I think I am. I'm good with most riddles when not done on camera and not under pressure, which is probably my negative. Bad under pressure. That's not true though. I feel like I am strong under pressure. Willpower, something on willpower, like gives up. I don't
No, you don't.
I know, but I want to give up. I give up to like pizza.
Only a couple times a week.
Only like a couple times a day. Yeah. Empathy, I will say negative will be like, will like easily lie down for like to save a kid or something like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't kill myself, but you know, if there was like a little boy Henry's age in any situation, I would definitely make a bad decision and probably try to help him.
Is that a bad decision?
Yeah, because I
think as far as survival goes, but as far as moral survival, I think you'd be good.
So can we describe that as boy love?
Loves boys, loves little bit boys, loves little baby boys, but
like
loves them
underage.
the way a priest would. So you know, loves baby boys the way a priest would. Overconfident, says John. Thanks, John. Love that everyone's quiet, and then when Harlan's thinking of his negatives, they're like, "Here, take this."
Aww.
No, that's fair.
It's because it's I don't know.
No,
it's
I
hard
agree.
to come up
Overconfident.
with, like things about yourself that would be pertinent in a game and that aren't just like the voices that you have in your head saying like, "You're an ugly piece of shit."
Oh, babe. No, totally.
Not you, me about myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone is like
My old baby
has
was
all
right.
these
That
negative
for charisma?
self-talk, but it's like.
Was that just?
No, I hear you. Well, no, I think that's a good point. And that's kind of why I wanted to break away from the same, you know, sort of thing, because I always go with like long reach or tall or, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, just being able to kind of have fun with it and just say, okay, to my most extreme, I'm not the loudest walker in the world. There are louder walkers. I'm up there.
Yeah,
but
of course. I'm just
that's what it is. So like you can take something small about yourself and just go with it. Like you could say, "Oh, I've got a huge nose," and like that's just your version of yourself in this game.
Totally. Good. Okay, so I went with overconfident for my negative, problem solver for my positive for mental, and for social I went good positive. I went good actor because I think I am. I could convince people. That's sort of like on the liar front. But then I also put selfish for my negative because ultimately I thought about that boy scenario and I was like, would I, or would I be more along the lines of being like it's sad but leave the kid? And I think it's more likely
It's different if it's your kid versus all kids.
Exactly. I think I would be very selfish in a scenario like this. I'd be selfish about the people I care about, meaning like it would be like me and Joe and Justin. But beyond that, yeah, I could probably be a lot colder than I am willing to admit right here. Especially if it was an end of the world scenario. I'd probably be like, well, not everyone's going to make it. Anyway, girl named Harlan. Girl named
We're
Bethesda.
guessing the sex and name of Jacob Watterson's child.
Oh, cute. Speaking of, maybe I actually should save that.
What? What?
I spoke to Chris today. Have you spoken to Chris today, Justin? Yeah.
Type in the chat first.
Well, he said he's pretty sure, but I didn't ask whether it was, but he just said. Also, you're likely right. It looks like a boy.
Ah.
Yeah, I know.
Very nice.
I'm
I say
jealous.
let him announce that.
Oh, I will, but
We'll see him on Sunday.
we'll see. All right. That is it for the rest of this game. This is how the rules work and the damage works. So you'll see on the bottom of that sheet under the features there are stress tracker. Every time you roll a negative die that does not get removed by a matching positive die, you gain a stress. For every 3 stresses, you gain a resistance. A resistance removes one of the negative die. Therefore, the more you fail at something, the more you remove negative dies and the longer you survive in the game. If all 9 stress tracks are full, however, you do die immediately, terribly, and violently. Unless I don't like you, in which case you die early. We're not going to deal with traumas because that's for long games and you never last long in games like this. Rolling this game works as such. You roll a number of positive and negative die based on what I assign you. For this game, we're going to be using yellow as the positive die, and your color as the yellow is the negative die and your color is the positive die. Anytime you attempt anything, you roll at least 1 positive die. That requires a die roll, of course. So if I say you go to try the door and it's jammed, I'm going to roll a positive die, and if it succeeds under whatever skill I'm looking for, in this case it would probably be dexterity because I'm attacking the door. My dexterity is 2, I roll a 1, that means I succeed, blam, blam, blam. If you do not succeed, and it's a positive die, you don't have any negative consequences, you just don't succeed at it. However, if I've assigned you negative die, meaning if in that same scenario, you're trying to open a jammed door and I say, okay, roll a positive die, but there's a zombie hot on your trails, also roll a negative die. You're going to roll both at the same time. So in this case, the 6 is not under my dexterity, meaning I did not succeed, and the yellow did not cancel out by anything on the positive column, meaning I also take a stress. So in this case, I would fill in one of those stress trackers. The only way you don't take stress is if you have a number of dice that cancel out. Let's say I'm running to that jammed door, but instead of jam, it's actually pick locked, it's actually locked, but I have a pick in my pocket. So I'm going to roll a positive because I have the die. I'm going to roll a positive because I have a pick in my pocket. And let's just say I have a skill that says I'm nimble with my fingers. That gives me a pool of 3 positive die. In this case, I say, okay, but there's 2 zombies on your tail. Roll 2 negative die as well. In that case, you're going to be rolling 3 positive and 2 negative. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so in this case, you see that the 6 and the 6 cancel each other out. That leaves me with a 2 and a 3 positive and a 5 negative. The 5 does not get canceled out by any positive die, which means I take a stress. But the 2 and the 3 is not. The 3 is not under my dexterity, so that gets canceled out. But the 2 succeeds. So in that roll, I would succeed at unlocking the door. However, I took a stress. And in this case, the stress could be a zombie attack. It might just be as simple as the lockpick breaking. Does that make sense to everybody?
Got it.
Justin's nodding, so that means you got it. Yeah, that was a quick pitch. I think I covered everything.
I think you're good at it. Having run it for strangers.
Should I add that to my positive social? Good at explaining rules?
Good at running into the world.
In the end of the world scenario, it would be very positive. All right, I'm going to get a quick glass of water, and then we're going to start this thing. You guys chat amongst yourselves.
Iwawa?
Cool. Who do we got with us tonight?
Ooh, we got so many good people. We got Zia. We got John. We have Apollon 7110. Hi, friend.
110. Hello. Carly, Michael, and Brianna. Bjorn.
Bjorn. Yep. Who else do we have?
Ooh, Jacob Watterson announced the name of the child.
Zephyr.
I
have a friend named Zephyr. It's Zafar, but it's pronounced the same as Zephyr. That's a wonderful name. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. And Apollon is also having a child. So that's exciting. I hear that Chris announced his future baby on stream, I think last week with you two. So that's very, very exciting. He's pregnant as well. We have Adam Ali. We have Blue Chip Beef. We got Strap for Cash. We got Jeff.
Cash money, cash money.
All the regs are here.
Well, thanks for hanging, everybody.
Mark has been here for a
Mark
long
Lane.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, been a while, Mark. Beauty. I might get myself a drink as well. I'll be right back.
You should. Who else do we have going on? Do we
Did
say
he get himself a
Converse?
drinky drink?
Yeah, he's gonna go get
Maybe I
a
should
drink.
drink.
I've got 4 beverages here with me. So
Are they all alcoholic?
Yeah, I got my coffee. I've got white wine. I've got a club soda. And I have a Wawa.
Wawa?
Wawa. And now it's just me. So I can tell all of you all of the sneaky secrets that I can't tell the boys. Psst. Hi. That's all I got. I'm sorry.
I've got my favorite Golden Axe from Chronicle Brewery.
It's a good beer. That's the beer that Harlan always reaches for when he's playing D&D.
It's my favorite beer. Burr, 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 burr. Got my tea and marshmallows. Oh, they're kept separate, thank God. I was like, cup of
people
tea.
do chocolate and hot chocolate and marshmallows.
That's a
right?
really different thing.
All right, whatever you say. I don't eat marshmallows, so your call.
You don't, yeah, but you like them.
Yeah.
They're delicious.
In theory. Well, more so in practice, but not in theory. As long as they don't have gelatin, I'm good. There's some really good vegan marshmallows that I made with like tapioca starch or something.
Are there any with chickpea?
Probably not. Just like a fucking ball of hummus. Look, it's a marshmallow.
It's a vegan marshmallow.
Super duper not.
Yeah, if anyone started the stream to watch Call of Cthulhu, I'm sorry.
So sorry.
But also not sorry. Hashtag not sorry.
Yeah, I'm excited to... well, Justin, you're leaving tomorrow, are you not?
Oh, did we not talk about that? Damn it.
Nope, we did not talk about
You're leaving the stream forever. Goodbye, Justin.
Bye, everybody. Moving down to Austin, Texas. Yeah, just it's the place to be, you know. Yeah, I'm going down for some recording. Jeff Hayes from Sound Booth Theater is flying me down, and I get to hang out in Austin for a week, party a couple nights this weekend, and then do a bunch of recording. So
exciting.
It's like kind of a dream come true. I feel like an audiobook rock star.
You are.
Well, it's things are happening. Things are happening.
What are your party plans on the weekend? Are you doing anything exceptional?
I think we're gonna explore Austin. I don't think Jeff's ever been there himself, so I don't know. Maybe go see I don't know,
Captain Marvel,
a fountain, or Captain Marvel, or maybe they've got some trees down there. You know, I'm really not too sure. I don't want to put any expectations on Austin. I just want to, you know, let things be and experience it as it comes. You know,
people down in Austin should go meet up with them.
For everyone who's freaking out on the Discord, Justin is not leaving the stream. He's just going on a work vacation.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'll be back.
I don't think.
In all seriousness, I'll be back on April 1st.
But next week, it'll be Harlan and I, and
possibly the K-Man. I mean, the C-Man. I talked to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, maybe."
That'd be cool. I would love to run D&D for you two together.
Would you? Do you like D&D? Nerd.
Well, you know.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be cute. We'll see. Who knows?
So it's almost 9 o'clock. Should we start playing again?
Yeah.
Let's start playing.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I bring you The end of the world, the longest summer. My dearest friends, the email starts off. It's been too long since we last spoke, and for that I'm sorry. That being said, it's been the greatest year of my life. I have found my calling, my true self. I have found that which was sought. In the beauty of nature, we've had the chance to speak. And in this I want to share. I want to share with you everything that I have learned. Come visit. Spend the week under the stars, by the crackling firelight and the still lake waters, and you too will feel reborn. Love and miss you, hoping to see you soon. Alex. The email is sent to each of us, Justin, Joe, and myself, and at first we kind of think it's a weird joke, but after corresponding with each other, I admit that, yeah, after Alex sort of stepped away from the stream, he sort of fell off my radar. He didn't really talk. I kind of assumed everything was fine with him in his personal life, but upon calling him and speaking to his wife, she said, no, he went away to like a retreat and just hasn't been back. It sounded like there's some tension, but I didn't push it. Either way, I spoke to you guys and relayed this information via video call. I think it's legit, guys. For some reason, I guess I don't know, I feel bad. I've been in my own world, but what the hell do you think this means?
It doesn't sound like him at all. It's
right?
like, it's got this weird cadence. Do you think it's a joke?
I think it's great. I could really use a vacation. I haven't slept in days.
Well, okay, but she's right. I mean, listen to this. Come visit, spend the week under the stars by the crackling firelight. When has Alex ever spoken like that? And I want to share with you everything I have learned.
But it kind of might be like one of those over-the-top things. Like he's being overly formal because it's like Dracula writing you a letter.
Yeah, well, okay, but what does that say? Like Dracula writing you a letter?
Well, it would be like Alex pretending to be Dracula because he thinks it's funny, and then he'd be like, "Oh no, maybe I should change it. Oh no, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna send it like that."
Yeah,
it's funny.
I don't know.
That's Alex.
I know, but I spoke to his wife after we got this email, and she sounded worried. She sounded more worried than I did. She didn't get this email. She hasn't even heard from him. She hasn't spoke to him. And apparently, like a month ago, she tried finding this place, going up to there, and they turned her away at the gate.
Why? Did they say?
No, they made all weird about it. They just were sort of like smiling and nodding, and every question she asked, they just pushed her away. She tried to get in touch with like the local police or something, and they just, she said, laughed me out of the building. But I think she more meant like they just weren't willing to do anything, and she's worried and she's lost. And this sounds like an invite. This sounds like something that they're expecting us.
Did she get one? No.
I told her about it, and she said if this gives us a chance to speak to him and to bring him back, that we should take it. But I don't know. It's weird in my stomach.
All right. Where is this place?
I don't know. He attached sort of like an image, and it's a map. It's way north of Peterborough. Like, I don't know. It's north. It's maybe another 3 hours north, and it looks like it's near, I don't know, a lake, Rothund Lake. I've never heard of that.
Oh, the lake.
No, Rothund. I don't know that. Why would that?
Just the lake in northern Ontario.
No, I'm just saying it is. This is, look, I was worried. The way it's concerning.
I'm just looking it up on the map here. So you said it's Round Lake?
No, Rothund. Like rotund, but with an H. No, I couldn't find it on Google Maps. He attached a map. I don't even know if that's the name of the lake, but he...
Okay, well, let me see the map.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if we can figure out where it is...
Yeah,
then,
let me know.
I mean, I'm down to drive up. Man, worst comes to worst, we can just, invite him out to our hotel.
I have some vacation time. Is this going to be like an overnight trip or...
yeah, well, he says...
week-long?
He said, I want to share everything with Lynn. That being said, the rate is... He said, spend the week. I don't know if we want to spend a week. Here's my thinking. I spoke to Karma. She's worried about this. I'm worried about him. I feel bad. I feel like as his brother, I should have made more of an effort. And ultimately, I think I need to go up and see if I can bring him back. To me, this sounds very cultish.
Oh. What? Really?
Well,
he doesn't strike me as the type who would fall for that shit.
It has been the greatest year of my life. I have found my calling, my true self.
Yeah, that does sound culty.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like what Justin is saying, where he's like, he knows that it's weird that he's been gone, and so he's sort of like joking around with us, maybe.
I mean, I've gotten emails like that from him in the past.
From him in this past year?
Not in this past year, no. But like, dearest Justin.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's off.
But there's usually more like lols and
yeah.
Put it this way. There's something about this that seems unlike him, and my impulse is to go alone. But he invited all three of us, and honestly, I don't know. Something about Karma saying that she had gone up there and they turned her around made me feel pretty uncomfortable. So I think as long as you guys are down, I feel like maybe I'm asking too much of you to do this, but if you are, I would appreciate the help.
Oh, I'm with you.
This is more like an intervention then? Like, not for us to relax up there. We're going to go up, get Alex, bring him home.
Honestly, maybe I'm overthinking it. Let's say this. We go up. We check it out. If it seems fishy, let's just get the hell out of there. If everything seems normal and it seems like just a really long vacation that he just hasn't been able to break out of, then fair enough. We'll stay and try to convince him to leave at the end of the week. But
you know how I am with packing for vacations. What are we bringing?
The question rings true. What do you bring on this adventure? Write it down, the bottom of your character sheet, whatever gear you want to bring. Keep it within reason and logical to the event at hand. And before long, we have packed up the white Dodge Caravan that I sometimes borrow, and we've started the 5-hour drive north to Rothund Lake. The drive is comfortable. It reminds us, and we joke about the drive we're going to be doing down to Gen Con later this year. Each switching between our favorite musics to our favorite podcasts to our favorite frustrated arguments back to music. And eventually, as the afternoon light comes, we pull over to a gas station at the side of the road to fill up. Do you want to ask the guy about this Rothund Lake, or should we just head up?
How far away are we?
It says maybe another 20 minutes or so.
I mean, yeah, maybe. We can find out if it's like a campground or if they have like, you know, electricity there. Kind of what to expect. I've got like sleeping bags and shit. I don't know if it's like a cabin situation or what. So,
okay,
yeah.
well, I'll fill up. Why don't you guys go inside and just see what you can ask. See if you can find out anything about it.
Sure. So I hop out of the car as you pull the gas pump out and start filling up, and wave Justin over with me. I need some energy drinks, anything. Do you want anything inside?
Yeah, I'm going to get a coffee.
All right, let's go. So we go into the convenience store / gas station.
It's almost more of like a general store than a gas station, and as you enter, you realize that you have grossly underestimated how bare bones this thing is. Chips would be a welcome addition to this gas station.
What are we looking at?
What you see is a very short, tight counter on your left. It looks to be made of wood. Even the front of it looks like it has nails sort of sticking out of it slightly. There is, of course, banks and banks of cigarettes behind the cash because it's the world. But beyond that, the aisles look like they have staples, dusty cans of weird spray foam, some pags of flour that look older than well past their prime. On the far right side, you do see a small chest freezer, which would probably hold ice and things like that. Beyond that, cold drinks are a no-go.
Dang.
As you enter, there's no one behind the counter as well.
Okay.
What do the pumps look like? Is this the pay at the pump sort of situation, or are you gonna have to come inside and pay
This looked like a pay inside type thing, one where you had to throw up the switch and start pumping.
So I clear my throat. Hello?
Your voice sort of rings out in the store, and you don't see anything. There is a small entryway to sort of a back room. And why don't you give me a logic roll?
All right. Just the one positive?
Just the bingo, bango, yeah. Straight up and down.
I got it.
You did it! Yeah, you hear sort of the soft whirring of a fan in the back room. Like a...
So, I wait a second to see if my salutation is answered. And then once no one calls back out, I sort of wander my way over to the open door.
As you enter the open door...
I'm going to take a look at the map that's up on the wall on a bulletin board, an old tattered map.
Perfect. Yeah, why don't you give me a logic roll on the map as well? And Joe, you walk towards the back sort of open passageway. There's like a bead curtain strung between this and the back room. Do you push through it?
Very 60s.
Yeah.
No, I sort of just take a look through the curtain as best I can. Maybe I rap on the door frame. Hello.
As you sort of try to eye through the bead... As you try to eye through the beaded curtain to sort of see what movement you can, you see a small cot rolled out on the floor, a pair of boots lying next to it, a crumpled blanket and a sweat-stained pillow next to a fan that's listlessly swinging towards the bed, but the bed is empty. You sort of stretch your eyes and look into the room again, sort of dancing between the slats of beads. Justin, as you look at the map, did you succeed?
Yep.
Yeah, you realize that the map is either very, very dated or perhaps, well, dated to the point where it's hand-drawn. It could be one that is just in the production date of being hand-drawn back when maps were. Or it could be a local sort of map. And on that, you see the lake up ahead, Rothun Lake, written in its sort of original scrawl. The lake sort of has a small breakaway from the main land, and then you realize that on it is a pretty large island. It's in the center of it, but it looks to be like sort of dotted and slashed through, as if not undiscovered, but sort of unclaimed territory. Joe, as you're stretching your eyes through this, almost all of a sudden, a figure half steps towards you on the other side of the beads and says, "Hello?"
And I jump, obviously startled. Sorry. Hi. We're just getting some gas.
A man presses through the beads, his sort of faded blue trucker hat and greasy hair that hangs out from underneath set you off a little bit. He's got stains on his cheek and on his face, and his porous skin is sort of sweat covered. His beady eyes look you up and down as he steps forward, and he's chewing something soft. It smells like meat, beef jerky of some kind. And he steps up towards the counter and sort of eyes you as he does. Is it all right that I was in the back, or?
No, of course. That's totally fine. So we're just headed out to the camp at what is it called, Justin?
And Harlan, me, enters as you're talking, and there's no ding on the door, obviously, and I walk up, sort of eager to pay. Hearing, well, that's why I didn't wake. And hearing the end of the conversation, I'm like, "Oh, Camp Cotija," and I walk up to the guy, unknowing that he was like in the back, and I just start counting out money as you continue talking.
Yeah, Camp Cotija. Ever been there?
No, there's no Camp Cotija up here. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's on Rothund Lake, right about here, as I'm pointing on the map.
There's nothing on that lake. It's a
there's an island.
Oh. Yeah, well, that's just a piece of land. There's a lot of islands up here that people don't use.
Sure. Sorry. I must be mistaken.
Yeah, you are, he says, and pulls a cigarette out and lights it. The most disgusting thing he could do.
Do you live around here?
And he kind of just looks at you through tight eyes as I'm like counting out money nervously, sort of reading the energy in the room, and he's like, "Why the fuck do you care?"
I'm sorry. That's pretty rude. We're just trying to buy some gas. So
And
we'll...
a coffee if you can.
You eye the coffee station, which is like drained dry. A fly's like.
There's like a cartoon spider who's made a web on the top of the craft, and he's just dangling in, like swinging a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I can wait for you to clean it.
Oh, give me a charisma roll.
All right.
Because you know that gas station coffee is primo.
Success?
Yeah, success.
Well,
I can roll negative as well.
no, because you're not gonna take stress for it. I mean, well, no, I can't imagine you'd be stressed by this. I can wait for you to clean it. You say, and for a moment, I like stop counting the money, and he eyes you up. Joe, what did you say? You said that was rude or something?
Yeah, I was like, excuse me, we're just trying to buy some gas right now. That's pretty rude of you to say.
And he locks eyes with you, Justin, like studying your face, and on his like blackened teeth and his like cracked lips, you see a smile crack, and like a really off-putting like. Yeah, you want to wait for me to clean it? I can. And he sort of seems a bit more good-humored, like maybe you called his bluff or met him eye to eye type thing, like staring down a bear. You don't get the same sort of nervous, angry energy from him after your crack.
Sweet. Yeah, we've been driving for a while. Not a lot of gas stations between here and Toronto, so we appreciate you setting up your business here. It's rustic.
And he's like, yeah, well, it's been in the family for many generations, and frankly, I'd rather just let it go to rot.
Oh.
It's easier to fix cars and race mopeds and
Oh, is that what you like to do?
punch bears,
You're a bear puncher.
fish.
I've
for
heard about that.
sea
That's like the new
cucumbers.
trend on Instagram. Bear punching.
As I finish counting
like
the money,
Tide
I look
Pod.
up to him and I'm like, that's everything, I believe. It is 60 on... And I look outside to see the one pump, and I'm like, one?
Does he clean the coffee machine?
No, he sort of took it as a joke. Are you actually waiting
okay.
for him to clean it?
No. I'd probably wait like a little while. But
He scoops the change down and he puts it in the till and he stands there. And give me like a charisma roll to see if he can see that you're actually waiting for it to be cleaned.
The four of us are all just kind of
Just awkwardly waiting.
That's another
standing.
success.
Yeah, so he's like, oh right. He walks over to the thing and he brings it over and he like puts it below the counter, and you hear zip, and you hear like the filling of liquid in like a cup, like as he's like pissing in it behind the counter.
Okay.
He's just like locking eyes with you.
Okay.
And like after a few seconds, he's like, he like shakes it a little bit, zips it up, and like puts a fucking piss-filled coffee jug decanter on the thing. He's like, it's gonna take a few minutes to boil. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. I'll wait in the car. Thank you.
And I back out of the room and head towards the car as well.
And yeah, I leave as well.
And
Oh, there's a Joe-shaped cloud of dust.
you're really in the cartoon mode.
Yep.
Yeah, and we start the car up, and as we drive away, he's like standing in the front window, like smoking a cigarette, watching us. And yeah, we head back out on the road.
Fucking
That was
creep.
the
What the hell was
weirdest
that?
guy. Okay, well, he wasn't. Well, yeah, he was a creep.
Talk about
Pisses in a
the.
coffee pot.
But talking about the. But okay, Joe, disgusting, creepy. Gotta give him credit.
Unsanitary.
Gotta give him credit for the unwavering eye contact of.
It was incredible.
It was pretty impressive.
Incredible eye contact.
I didn't watch. I was gone.
That's a
Cloud
pretty.
of dust.
That is
You missed it.
that is an alpha move to piss in a coffee pot right before.
How dare you require the goods and services that I offer?
It's a waste of a good.
Sounded like he
coffee
wasn't too interested in keeping the business afloat, and going
That's-
that way, I doubt he will.
You know, that's
pot. I
fair.
don't know.
He
Should we leave
had
a review? I'm gonna
Yeah.
put this in.
Oh, I don't have any service.
Yeah, no.
Did you see in the back? He had like he lives there. He was sleeping back there.
I didn't see. What did you see back there?
Well, there's like a beaded curtain and a little back room with like a sleeping bag on the floor or a cot or something. I only just like caught a very short glimpse of it before he sort of popped up, but that's sad, man. Like, you obviously live in this rundown building that you don't give a shit about with no one around, probably. I mean, I'm sure he takes, well, I'm not sure that he takes baths at all, but what hygiene he gets from the sink in the back of the who knows how clean that bathroom is.
And Joe starts crying. How high is your empathy?
It's a 4.
She's like, the poor mean man.
Friend, we gotta go back there.
So we drive for another 15 minutes before the road sort of peters out into a dirt 2-lane, sort of just wide enough for the tires of the van. And I sort of nervously look towards you.
Sorry, I'd like to retcon.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to say, but I took a picture of the map on my phone.
Nice.
Okay,
good
perfect.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, you have a picture of the map. So we start heading down the sort of dirt road towards this all-consuming wood. On either side, the trees grow close to the lane. It seems like it's cut wide enough just for a car, and we each share sort of a nervous glance as we continue going down this lone road, I should say. Even though it's only early afternoon, the canopy above us is sort of making it feel like afternoon or evening shade because it's so thick. And as we continue deeper and deeper into the woods, it grows almost dark until we reach what looks to be sort of a gated arm at the end of a road. And I stop maybe 50 feet before the gate and turn to you two.
Like a parking garage?
Yeah, sort of, but it looks like it's like wood, like it's like a branch, like a large stick that's been shaved down. And
2 questions. Well, 3 questions. What time of day is it? Is it lit with electric lights, and is it attended by human beings?
3 o'clock, no, and we don't know yet. Although there does look to be like a
gatehouse type thing?
Yes, a small little gatehouse to one side.
It's not like one of those gatehouses that like you can roll up to it and the window will.
No.
Right at the.
It looks like somewhere someone would just sit.
I'll get it. I say as I open the door and step out of the car.
Okay. And Joe and I neck. You get out and start walking.
I kick the bumper.
Good. You start walking towards the gate arm. And as you do, you're walking along the dry dirt road and looking around your feet. Again, you see the sprouts of green grass grown between 2 deep tire tracks that have been made over years and years of driving over and over. And as you approach this arm, you see that it is sort of just placed upon a stack of wood. It doesn't even seem to be really stopping anything. It's more representative of the property line. It's pretty easy to lift, and it seems weighted on one end as you do. It sort of swings up wide.
Yeah, I'm going to just stop before I do, and I'm just going to look at it. I'm going to observe it. I'm asking questions about, like, okay, why do they even have this gated off if it's easy to move? Why? What's the purpose? Like, what are they trying to accomplish here? Is there anybody inside the hut? And so I'm just going to do some logic to see whether or not I can parse out why this is a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I fail.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't even know what it is. You're like, wood? Is wood wood? Yeah. No, but I mean, without a logical success, you can tell immediately that this thing is like rotting through. It looks.
Right.
You get the impression that this is ceremonial and perhaps belonged to what this camp was in a previous life.
Oh, okay. So this isn't an arm that's blocking our path.
No, it
This
is,
is-
but it doesn't look like something that's meant to stop you right now. It looks like something that was at one point the only way into this place, but because it's unintended, and I mean, you even look towards that small booth, and it looks locked up. There's a large, thick padlock on it.
Here's a question. You mentioned the tire furrows in the earth on this dirt road. Do they go around this arm or do they go through it?
No, they go through it.
Okay.
So they just drive through this rotting piece of wood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they still lift it up. They still use it for whatever its intended purpose was.
I see. Okay. So I'm gonna lift it up.
Yeah, and waving us through, we start the car, and I stop under the open arm, and I'm like, get back in.
Yep. And I do.
And we drive up to the...
Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna close it down behind
Perfect.
us. Not gonna leave it.
Snacks? Anyone want snacks?
Oh.
I go wasabi peas.
Oh.
Like a dried apricot.
Peas. See, but this is where we break reality, because if we were in a 5-hour car ride, there would not be any sour
would be-
peas left
yeah.
over.
Sour
Yes,
peas
there
would be
would
gone.
because I pack enough snacks.
Did you bring sour keys?
Had a backup pair of sour keys? Not pair, a whole bag.
Sour keys and sabi peas.
Did you
Both.
also say sour keys, or did he say sour keys?
I said one, but I meant both.
Because I would love sour keys, by the way.
Reese Pieces. We got chestnuts for me. Justin, what's your favorite car trip snack? We're gonna need to know this, by the way.
Oh, beef
Wait.
jerky.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I know it's expensive.
I was gonna ask if Harlan knew. Would you have guessed that?
No, I don't think he and I have had long road trips.
Beef
No, not
jerky.
really.
Beef
I love those
jerky.
Longest
corn
would be-
nuts, too.
Kawartha.
Yeah.
Those corn nuts. Oh, you're getting the corn nuts.
No, I love those corn nuts. Remember those corn nuts that you had when we were playing AL on the weekend?
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan.
Boy, you ate enough of them.
I ate
I
like
was like
half of
enjoying them.
I didn't really like them, but I ate the whole bowl.
Pretty much.
Nom, nom, nom.
No, he
Well,
left the
that's,
last.
You know,
We were sharing.
you know.
It's okay. Anyway,
it was good.
so we continued along the road for only a short way around a tight bend, and as we reach the gate of the Camp Cotija, we realize the unintended ceremony of the first gate, because here is a proper gate. Before us, is a large chain link fence, almost double the height of an average chain link fence, with barbed wire along the top. However, written above it on a wooden placard, basically attached to the top of this fence, is in fairly simple writing the title, Camp Cotija. It's written in plain, unassuming text with sort of bubble letters and yellow painted on the inside, and as we approach, the gate opens. I look nervously towards you two.
Okay. So this looks well maintained.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the guy at the gas station was talking about. That this place didn't exist.
Clearly, he's like a meth head or something. I don't know.
He wasn't totally sane.
Yeah, the urine sort of tipped me off.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, tipped you off, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I roll to see if there? I guess I'm looking for like a Call of Cthulhu like spot hidden, but essentially I want to be able to tell how. Like, if I look around, do I see surveillance cameras, or are they surveillance cameras? How do you say that word?
Surveillance?
Surveillance. The L's are not. Surveillance cameras, or like sneaky Ewoks watching from the bushes. Or
Ooh.
Sure, give me a Call of Cthulhu Ewok watching roll.
I will. I'll roll it for Ewok watching.
Call of Ewoks.
I succeeded with a
You
critical
stacked that.
success.
Critical seems less critical when it's a 1 to 6 option.
It's like good. Not one of the 6 options.
It's like it ain't no 1 to 20. Yeah, no, you get the impression that it is still relatively unwatched. You don't see any security cameras of any kind.
Okay, weird.
Yeah, and we drive in.
Just give me the heebie-jeebies, but let's do it.
It's oddly reassuring though to see this kind of technology up here. It's not backwoods, you know,
That's true.
outhouse, and like and I say this as I'm driving up. Weirdly enough, stuff like this, as out of place as it seems, it actually makes me feel closer to civilization than farther away. And as we roll up, there's sort of a short distance before a second gate, and the same thing, and we roll in, and past those two outlying fences, it sort of goes back to what we would expect as a camp. There's a beautiful green countryside sort of within this gated community of sorts. Small buildings outcropping, a large sort of central house. It's like a manor that sits 2, maybe 3 stories high in the center, down just a short hill. And there's fields off to the left with soccer tents and large forests lining the back. And it seems like the fence actually cuts off into the forest and we can't actually see the end of it. There's maybe 8 buildings to our right side running down the hill, smaller ones, some large. There's a lot of tents off to the left, sort of like camping tents with utensils and stuff like that. And of course, then there's the main building, again, 2 stories high at the bottom of this hill. And we start driving down. What's that?
Do we see the lake anywhere?
No, we don't see the lake just yet. It sort of seems like there's a small path between the woods that's leading off to it. From our hill, we can't quite make it to that area just yet. It seems like it's bordering the lake, though. And as we move down, we start seeing people walking around, wearing sort of these pasty white clothes. They're sort of wearing loose-fitting pants and flowing shirts and stuff like that. But they all seem happy and comfortable to the right and to the left. They're walking around. Some of them are like... What's that?
Do you see Alex?
Not... I mean, give me a logic roll.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, no,
4.
we don't see Alex. No, I mean, there's a lot of people walking around. There's maybe 20, 30 people. Some of them are down playing soccer way down the hill off to the left. Some are sort of sitting on the grass, like just talking. They seem to also have like a bit of romanticism in the air. There's some people like lying on other people's laps. Some people are sitting on the porches of their small buildings. And we sort of continue down to out front of the main building and eventually slow to a stop. And I turn off the van. Do we say hi, or what the hell do we do here?
Yeah.
They're
hello.
playing soccer in their white robes.
Yeah, not robes. They're wearing like sort of like old lady beach pants. You know those like flowy white, like rich old white lady beach pants.
Sure.
No, doesn't it give you a really specific? It gives me a really specific image.
I like a la Jurassic Park. Open the door to the van and like get out and sort of put my hand on the hood and just like look out over it.
Look at this. This is old white lady beach pants. That's exactly what I mean. They're just like flowy, nondescript white pants.
Oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's exactly
like
what I'm
linen, like, is that flannel?
Doesn't matter. They're old white lady. Old rich white lady beach pants. Yeah, you do that. You do the Jurassic Park, and as we're sort of, you know, after a long drive, even having just gotten out of the car, we're sort of like prepping ourselves and adjusting ourselves as men. As we're talking, a man and a woman sort of walk out of the main pavilion down a set of small wooden steps, and come outside the driver's side, waiting for us to exit. And before we do, I sort of turn towards you, Justin, and I'm like, so what are we saying here?
Oh, we're saying we're looking for Alex Guthrie.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
That's it,
it's
that we were invited.
not that complicated, I don't think. Like,
Okay.
we were invited by him.
I just want to make sure. I don't know. I'm a bit nervous seeing those gates on the outside.
Ah, it's fine. It's fine. Thanks for driving, by the way.
My pleasure. And we get out, and again, there's a man. He's probably in his mid to late 30s. He's got a bit of gray on either side of his hair. It's sort of nicely combed over, and he's got a warm smile. And next to him is a woman of approximately the same age. And he sort of meets each of our eyes going between each as he speaks. And he says in sort of a calm, dulcet tone, "Greetings. My name is Aaron, and welcome to Camp Cotija. This is Emily, my partner, and we are happy that you are with us. You must be Harlan, Joe, and Justin," he says sort of knowingly.
Wow, Alex told you about us?
He did. He was really excited to have you stay with us and experience all that we have here. Was the ride comfortable?
It was, thank you. Sorry, we didn't receive a lot of information about this retreat or what goes on here. Do you have like a tour or a pitch? I see you have cabins here.
And he sort of smiles knowingly to Emily, and Emily sort of smiles back to him, and she says, "Yes, let's take a walk. Your car will be safe." And she sort of motions around the pavilion towards the sort of not steep, but the soft drop towards the soccer fields and the pathway through the back woods.
I look towards you as they turn their backs and head off, and I'm like, our car will be safe.
I guess she just means that no one's going to steal it. I don't know. And I pat the keys in my pocket, and I'm like,
they're totally going to light our fucking car on fire.
They did it. And we begin walking down the hill, followed by Emily and Aaron. Emily sort of makes wide gestures with her hands as she speaks, sort of waving to the buildings and stuff like that. And she says, "Camp Cotija was originally, almost 30 years ago, a camp for students and young children. They would come up here, use the facilities, have campfires, sing songs by the lake. It wasn't until the collective purchased it that we turned it into what it is today." And she sort of walks by, and you can see sort of surrounding certain areas, some outside the fence, some inside the fence. You get the impression that that original arm that we witnessed was the original entrance to the camp, that they've sort of constructed new pieces to it. And there's sort of a mismatch of old and new amongst the buildings. Some of them seem to be around since 30 years ago. Some of them seem to be sort of new constructions, and it sort of makes a little bit of sense. She continues walking down and explaining some of the history of the place, which is relatively interesting, but your ears perk up when she mentions the collective and sort of their purpose here. And she sort of alludes on it and says, "The purpose of our experience here is, as Alex wrote to you, sharing what we have learned. That is, in true nature, what we have here. Sharing amongst each of us as individuals, as couples, however we might define ourselves. Me and Aaron have been together for 10 years, and we came here together," she says, and sort of extends a hand. And she points to one of the outer cabins and says, "We started there, and now we live in there, in one of the largest rooms," and points to the main pavilion.
Are you the camp director, or...
And condescendingly, she sort of laughs. No, she's not condescending. She's just kind of like, no. She's like, "Dumb bitch. No, we don't do that here." No, she's just like, "No, we don't have a director of sorts. Everyone here, once they understand, once they have learned, we work in tandem. We work for the same goal." And she says, as she reaches the bottom of the hill towards the woods leading out back. Anything you guys want to do in the meantime as you follow her?
The manor house, as you've described it, this isn't a traditional like mess hall and kitchen. This is like a 3-story Victorian in the middle of the woods. Yeah.
No, it's definitely architecturally in line with like a camp building, but it has 2, maybe 3 stories.
Wow.
It's sort of a combination of both. It's as if someone who loved camp life wanted to live right in the center of the camp. It has home-like qualities, but it is clearly still built with large, trunks of wood, trunks of trees, and sort of that natural wood banister.
How many people does this place appear to contain? Both from looking at the number of outbuildings as well as the number of people who seem to be just like walking around. I fail.
Yeah, you have no idea. 1 million?
What? How have you kept this place that's secret so big?
Justin, any questions while you're walking through?
No, I'm just looking around and kind of taking it in. I'm very relaxed here.
Well, that's good.
love camp. I'm big on camp. Not big on cults, but big on summer camp. So,
What if it's a camp that you could be in forever?
I mean, is there canoeing? Can we make a fire later?
Are you asking this to Emily?
Yeah. What sort of stuff do you guys do here? This looks like a friendly community.
And she starts running the list, and she says, yes, there are fires. We have programs in the afternoon at times, lectures. We have games. We have tag. Sometimes we even like to act like kids ourselves. She sort of laughs at Aaron. The two of them like, ha ha ha. And she's like, swimming, kayaking. The options here at Camp Cotija are near limitless.
Kayaking. I saw on a map that there was a lake nearby. Where is that?
And she smiles knowingly and continues down the path leading into the woods. She says, momentarily you'll see. And there's a short walk into the woods that sort of immediately comes out the other side. You don't actually pass through a gate here, so it seems like the gate runs maybe right into or towards the lake. It's sort of like a horseshoe shaped, where you've entered the gate at the lowest point entering. You've reached this beautiful hillside, and there's a forest that borders the lake. And as you come out through the forest, you see this sort of long dock that's floating upon the lake that reaches towards this island, this large sprawling island.
I'm picturing old growth pine, a carpet of pine needles, cedar, the like rustling of leaves, the sound like chipmunks scurrying around in the undergrowth.
Yeah, exactly. All of that. It's quite breathtaking. And the light, the late afternoon light, is reflecting off the surface of the water, sparkling before your eyes. And the three of us are sort of like, okay, I'm getting
all right,
it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Where's my white pants?
Where do I sign my life away? And they stop there, and she sort of points and says, this is where we hold a lot of our campfires, and this evening will be a very, very special one now that you three have arrived. If you'd like, feel free to walk around. Stephanie will find you when the time comes, show you where you'll be sleeping tonight, and we'll be having the ceremony tonight by the fire. If you have any questions, please.
Where's the wash dryer?
Oh, and she sort of points. She pointed to one of the smaller buildings that's
so
near the pavilion. Yeah.
One of these outbuildings.
Yeah, and she kind of says, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to find Aaron or myself.
Where's Alex?
And Aaron sort of has like a furrow brow. He says, Alex was sent on a slight errand early this morning. He should be back before tonight.
Oh, okay. So he's just in town or something?
Yes. And he smiles, says, again, if you need us, we'll be in the pavilion. Either way, we'll see you at sunset on the island. And they all walk back towards the house, and the three of us are left alone.
I turn to the two of you. Okay, what do you think?
Cult?
Not culty. But I mean,
it's a cult, guys. I think we should leave.
It's like, I don't know. I think it's kind of nice. I mean, they didn't say anything that was particularly culty.
Okay, let's just run through this here. We have a locked and closed area. We have flowy white robes and sorry, not robes, old lady beach pants, as I would call them. If I were GMing this game. Yeah, but true. We also have a weird tone that Alex had in his email that seems to continue through the people here. They talked about the place that they purchased being a previous camp and this being called the Collective.
Yeah,
that's fair.
It's like a grouping of people together, different people from different walks of life coming together.
Oh, come on, guys.
Collective.
There's something weird here.
But I mean, like,
Okay,
There are
I'm not saying
spiritual, like, not cults, but spiritual, like, not even retreats, communities like this. They
Okay.
exist. I've never been to one. This is my first.
I'm
but
not saying that we need to burn down the place, or leave right away. But I'm saying we cannot be so naive as to think that everything here is just like kindly people looking for an outrage. There's something weird here.
Oh, no, definitely. My antenna's up. This is very church camp from the 80s where who knows what happens.
Yeah, they try to convert people.
But
nobody's peed in a carafe yet.
right. And I mean, at least we have to stay one night here. I do not want to drive all the way back to Toronto right now, especially not until we see your brother. So let's just wait and see. Tonight we'll get our hot dog on, do a little bit of a cookout. If things get really fucking weird, I mean, I don't feel comfortable sleeping apart from the two of you tonight in a cabin by myself. I don't know if they segregate by genders.
No, they said couples would stay together or whatever.
We can sleep in the car if we really, you know what I mean?
I look, and I sort of take a look around. I don't see anyone watching us. And I'm going to do a logic roll. I want to make sure that there's no, like, cameras or anything around. And that succeeds. And
nice.
No, I don't see any cameras around. So it doesn't seem like we're being heard right now. I feel really uncomfortable knowing that there's only one way in and one way out of this place.
That's fair.
Doesn't that sit off with you guys?
Yeah.
Maybe
definitely.
I would feel a little bit more comfortable if we found, maybe had a backup plan if, I don't know, the gate doesn't open.
Yeah, we got some time. I mean, we can just like off-road it with a van.
Yeah, but that's 2 layers. Even if we got through the first, by the second time, it might just drag the whole thing. It depends on how deep it is too.
Honestly, the most troubling aspect for me about this whole experience is the barbed wire.
Yeah. Why barbed wire?
What are you keeping in or preventing from getting in? That's not a bad idea. We got a whole afternoon. Why don't we take some time and do a little investigation?
And so we decide to investigate as we look up at the quickly fading afternoon light. And we're going to stop there for the mid-game post. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time where we stop the action. We jump to you, the Facebook group, where we ask you a question about tonight's game and see if you can guess what's going on there. What do you think?
Let's do it.
MGP. So it should be a question about the game. We haven't done one of these in a while, eh?
Yeah. What question you gonna ask? What you gonna ask?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do with all that ask inside your blask? What's the name? Okay, it's gonna be posted below. What's the name of the lake?
Oh,
the name of
good
the
one.
lake. Original name.
I think I've written down every other piece of information, but I don't have that one. So, good question.
Well, I'm glad. Whoever answers that, if you answer that correctly, we're gonna roll a 1D, whatever, whoever the number of answers, and then if that's your number, you're gonna win some XP. Remember, when they start rolling, you can spend some XP in game to help them out.
Or hinder, depending on whether you would like to see me get murdered by cult members or not.
Who said they're cult?
You did.
I never did.
You did a bunch of times. You're like, I think this is a cult. You in character.
Oh, me in character, for sure. I don't think in reality they're cult. I think they're a bunch of nice people.
Oh yeah, that sounds appropriate.
The real me is way more naive.
Totally naive. How you doing, Harley?
I'm doing so great.
We checked in with Justin. We checked in with me.
Haven't checked in with
Let's
me.
do a little Harley.
I'm doing great. How are you liking the game so far?
It's fun.
Yeah?
It makes you want to be a camp counselor again.
Oh. Well, you can still do it.
Probably not.
Well,
It didn't pay very well.
It didn't go over. It did pay very well.
No, $75 a week.
Oh,
It was
wow.
just like what do they call that? An honorarium. And if you weren't careful, you could spend that in tuck at
In
the tuck shop.
seconds. Yeah.
I do remember So when you were sent to the camp, so I was a camper at this camp for a solid, I don't know, maybe 6 years. Your parents would send $10 along, which meant that for the 5 days you had tuck shop, it was an overnight camp, you could get 2 different candies after lunch and before siesta. So you could have like a pop and a chocolate bar, or like a freezy and a Swedish berries or something.
Oh, so
and like I got to get 2 pieces of candy every day at camp, which my parents were very like vegetables, granola and shit. Like I was so excited because I got to eat all this candy. And then they make you go and have a nap in your cabin, and like all the kids are full of fucking sugar.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to go back to camp as a kid. I mean, who knows? Henry might want to go to camp one day, and
You better.
you know, we'll get that 5 minutes of like dropping him off and picking him up. You know, they might have like a bring your parents to camp day type thing.
Did you ever do overnight camp?
Yeah,
Apart
I
from
cried like a baby.
Did you?
Oh god, yeah. I missed home so bad.
Was this with Boy Scouts?
I've cried at that too, but no, this was like after Boy Scouts. I was like, yeah, they were like, go to camp, it's really good for you. And I went and I just like bawled and bawled.
It is good for you though.
Yeah, it made me stronger, and now I only cry once every other night. No, I mean everyone. It's sad. It's not one of those like define me and blah, blah, blah. It was like we took it. It was a very what do you call it? Homebody. I really love my mom. You know, it was one of those like love my mommy type kids.
Yeah.
And which
Every week I have at least one camper who is super homesick.
Yeah, that was me.
I always want to go home, and you're like, no, you can't.
And I see a lot of like Henry in myself, you know, that like who's like, Dad, no, like that sadness. I can see him being like that too. So we'll see. I think we got a lot of new people tonight. Blind Sniper. I don't recognize.
Caleb.
Scott. De Christmas Git.
30 Carb. I'm excited about all these people.
Juju Box. Junior Jedi. Mort Hobbs joined, but he just left. Mort Hobbs is Mike from the game that I ran.
The game?
Yeah, Mike is this cool dude who sat at our table in Buffalo for the undefeated. Mm-hmm. He joined us in Buffalo with the other members of the stream. Great guy.
Oh, he's the guy who came.
Yeah, and then totally by chance ended up in BreakoutCon this year and sat in my Call of Cthulhu game. And I was like, hey, I played with you, or I played alongside you in Buffalo. He was like, yeah. He tweeted us. He said, I was in your game. And then he joined the Discord, and then that was it. So we'll see. Mike, if you're there, come back to Discord. We miss you.
Come back to us. So cool in the mid-game post chat, we have 9 correct answers.
So 1d10 and re-roll?
I think so. Can I roll it?
Go for it.
Yay!
Who won?
Number 2.
Number 2!
Adam Ali. Congratulations. You win XP tonight.
You win XP.
Good job.
Tonight.
You did it.
You did it! Adam Ali. I didn't see you at BreakoutCon. I don't think I did.
I did.
I did.
He was wearing the most beautiful vest and gorgeous shoes, and I was like, I'm wearing all sweatpants.
Hey, you're beautiful.
Thanks.
I don't know. I tend to not make eye contact with people at BreakoutCon because
you gotta focus. You got stuff to do.
I just find that if I catch eyes with somebody that I'm not, if I'm walking with purpose, I don't usually keep an eye on. I'll just try to keep focused because it's so easy for someone to be like, "Hey, what are you here for?" And they're really sweet. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But I'm like, it's sometimes when you're trying to do stuff, and I had like game after game after game after game, and then the few breaks that we did have, like Jeff, super sweet. You know, we had a 1 hour break after your game. I came to get you. We were like, hey, let's go out and like eat because we hadn't seen each other in a week either. And Jeff was like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, hey Jeff, we gotta go. Like, we only have an hour to eat, and I'm sorry, and I want to say hi to you, but I gotta go. So
We gotta go downstairs to the Proxies and tell the server, excuse me, we would like to order right now and pay at the same time. Is that okay?
Yeah, exactly. So it was like very running around. So I didn't see it, but next time. You didn't see me either. Well, there you go. I hope you didn't see me either. Because if you saw me, you didn't say hi.
Emily was dressed like a fucking... What is a sartorialist?
Wow.
What is a sartorialist?
Speak good. Good
Isn't it
speaking.
like a sarcastic...
It means he or
Oh no, I'm
she
thinking sardonic.
Sounds
lives
exotic.
for fashion.
I was thinking sardonic, and I'm like, isn't that like...
He is sartorial.
He dresses for fashion.
Yeah, he was looking fine. So
Nice.
not just the winner of the MGP today, but also the winner of the Excellent Shoes Award.
Well, there you
Excellent shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I would kill for some excellent shoes.
I honestly,
They don't come in size 14.
my Chucks are falling apart. The salt on the streets of Toronto during the wintertime is just something else, and it totally eats through shoes. So
go. That's why you need the boots. The boots! I'm hot,
You sounded so
speaking of-
upper crust there. It's just awful.
just awful.
The salt in Toronto.
It's just
So
dreadful.
my-
My mink gets purely pure.
Cute. What did we have anything else that we wanted to talk about?
April 13th.
Chronicle Brewing Night. We talked about Justin's endeavors in Texas. We talked about Breakout Con. We mentioned briefly that we will be at Gen Con.
Which we will be.
So that's exciting. If you will be at Gen Con, please let us know. Our games are still in line for approval. But when they are approved, we will let you know.
And if they're not approved, you know what we're going to do? I'm just going to fucking run them at a bar for you guys.
I mean, why not,
That would be
right?
great. I would love. Let's do that instead.
Well,
like-
no, because I do want to be in
The convention and everything. But
Okay, well, I'm gonna run my game at a bar. So
you're running a game
well, we will be doing a Invictus meetup.
Pub night.
That'll be on the Saturday of Gen Con. We'll find a bar somewhere near the con. We haven't figured out the details yet, and we'll reserve like a dozen or 2 dozen seats, and we'll all get drunk together. It'll be super fun.
I don't think we'll need 2 dozen, but we'll definitely get drunk together, and it'll definitely
You
be fun.
don't know that. We could get famous.
There's like, what, 5 months? We could do it.
Anything else? Well, we were like 10 of us in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which was great. Honestly, it was nice to just be able to like talk one-on-one with everybody.
It was. And no, we're not going
So-
to Dragon Con this year, unfortunately, Mark. However,
Justin is.
Justin is.
I'll be at Dragon Con.
So you should stop by and say hi to Mark. And Victoria. Anyway,
Back in Victoria Lane.
let's get back into the game
Yeah,
because
do
we already
that.
started so late. Ladies and gentlemen,
Do
without
it.
further ado, the longest summer concludes. We are standing by the
What?
lake in the woods, and I turn to Justin.
Yeah. What have you been doing this whole time, Joe? Have we been? Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. I was picturing that we had like 2 hours that we've all been doing our own thing.
Yeah, let's do it that way. I'm gonna be like scoping the perimeter.
Yeah, because you're interested in security.
I'd probably
and
try
finding
to
the-
drag Joe with me because I wouldn't want to be alone. And if she
But I feel
wanted-
like for the sake of this game and for the narration, we should all do our own things. Even though we would probably be walking everywhere, hand in hand.
Okay, fair enough. I go to die. Joe, what do you do?
I'm gonna go to the manor, the mess house,
Yeah.
and I want to check that out. I want to see their digs. I want to see if they've got an open kitchen. If I can see what are they cooking for dinner.
And Justin, what are you doing?
Honestly, I'm not feeling as worried as you guys are. I'm probably just gonna read. Gonna do some pre-reading. I'm gonna set up a chair by the beach. You know, enjoy the nice weather. And read.
Amazing. Okay. Justin, as you you find a nice log to sit by. There's no chairs per se by the waterfront, and you open your tablet or pull out your book and you start reading, and you maybe read for 20 minutes before you hear a quiet voice behind you. Hello.
Oh, hey.
There's a young woman, maybe 24, 25, with again a kind smile and blue eyes and blonde hair that goes down past her shoulders, and she sort of walks towards you with a confidence that you're sort of surprised by, to just approach somebody and like start a conversation. And she says, "Hi, my name is Callie. You are one of Alex's friends, right?"
Yeah, I'm Justin.
Nice to meet you. What are you reading?
Oh, just something for work. Just a little fantasy thing.
And she sort of weirdly walks towards you and like sits down on the dirt beside you, and you can see her feet are bare and well worn on the bottom, and she crosses them and pulls them towards her, and as if like being invited to engage with you, turns and says, "Tell me about it." Joe, you walk up to the pavilion. The large double doors of the main entrance are sort of heavy to the touch, and you push them open and you see, a mess hall. Wooden slats line the floor, large tables, maybe 6 across, but doubled, sort of fill the main area here, and to the far left you see the cutout opening towards the kitchen. There's a set of wooden stairs that lead up on your right towards the second story, which sort of has a balcony and a bunch of rooms off there, and then there's another small set of stairs that lead up to what you can only guess is a 3rd floor on the top.
Nice. I look around. Take it easy. Is there anyone working in the kitchen? It's coming up to dinner time.
Yeah, you hear some sounds. You hear pots and pans clinking away, and
Did you see the radio?
No, it's silent in here.
I go up to the cutout to the like pass, I guess, and I just watch them for a minute.
Yeah, and there's only one guy in there right now. He's like older, maybe 60, 65. He's kind of got a grizzled look to him. And he's the first person that looks a little bit different than anybody else. He doesn't have this sort of plastered smile on his face that you've seen with everybody else so far. Not that they're disingenuous, just he turns around with a much more furrowed brow. He's got a thin gray beard, and he's bald. And his face looks very weathered. And he turns and sort of doesn't notice you at first as he sort of clangs some pots around and starts scrubbing.
Need a hand?
Oh, no,
Sorry.
I'm fine. That's all right.
I'm new here. I'm not really sure if they're like chores or whatever, but I just wanted to see what's cooking.
And he ignores you a little bit. Unless, well, actually, why don't you give me a charm roll?
Sure. Is that I guess charisma?
This is charisma, yeah. That's what I meant. Sorry, charisma roll, not charm roll.
I succeed.
Yeah, he's like cleaning the pot, and he like sets it down, and he sighs as he does. New here? And he turns towards you and sort of wiping his hands on his towel around his waist, on the rag rather, and flips it over his shoulder. He walks towards you and studies your face for a second. Just came in today. And he looks at your clothes, and he kind of looks past you towards the door and around you and sees that there's no one else in here. He says, "What brings you here?"
Just here for a couple days. I'm looking for someone.
Listen to me. You need to leave right now. Yeah. And as he goes to speak, you hear the slam of the back door behind him, the kitchen door, and someone else walks in holding a big tub of something. This person, again, much more smiley, younger, same sort of vibe you get from everyone else, and they're like, "Oh, it took me a few trips, but I finally..." "Oh," and he kind of sets it down on the floor and says, "Well, hi, this is actually off limits. sorry, but we're just cooking up. And he begins walking up next to the older man, who sort of doesn't look nervous, but sort of turns away from you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go anywhere. I'm not allowed.
No,
I was
of course. You're allowed anywhere. It's just that we have a lot of work to do, and we want to make sure that we're getting it done for tonight.
Totally. That's why I was looking for something to help with.
No, enjoy yourself and have a break. And he reaches up and like in an instant, a slam sounds before you as he flicks the lock down and the shutter that's
Like
holding
fire.
Yeah, exactly. Just slams in your face, and you're standing alone in the
Jesus Christ.
dining hall. Callie's been sitting next to you talking for a bit, and I mean, she seems like a genuinely nice person, a bit naive, a bit curious. Everything you tend to tell her about the book and about your job, it's like new to her. It's interesting, and she seems really enamored by everything you have to say.
I get to a certain point where I don't know. I feel like I've just been talking about myself.
Yeah.
So I say to her, "Well, so tell me about yourself. How long have you been living here?"
Oh, I've only been here for a few weeks, but everyone here is so nice. Everyone here is so refreshing, you know?
Yeah. Refreshing how? Like, everybody's been friendly so far.
There's something about the collective that everyone's working towards the same goal. Everyone knows that the same end. It's amazing to be with people that can see as clearly as you can and feel as strongly as you do, and welcome.
Me personally, or like?
Oh, sorry. I guess you're not part of what we are yet, but no. It's nice to feel a part of something. You know, it's like, and she sort of looks towards the water, and she's like, it's like how fish swim in schools and know when to turn, sense the vibrations, used to swimming together so much that they all turn on a dime. It's like that being in the collective, one singular mind, all working towards the same goal, towards the end.
I bow my head and I just shake it and chuckle to myself. I'll be honest with you. I've been feeling kind of lonely lately, and part of that is my line of work. It's very solitary, you know, sitting in a booth and recording all day by myself. But I don't know what you're talking about there. It does sound very refreshing. I'll be honest.
Well, I'm glad you're with us. I'm glad you're part of the collective.
Well, I mean, I haven't joined technically yet. I don't even know what that looks like. Like, what's the process like?
And for the first time in a long while, she stands up and brushes her feet off and kind of says, "Well, we'll see tonight." And she turns around towards the woods and just walks off, sort of towards the direction of the houses, leaving you sort of with a perplexed look. Joe,
oh,
you're standing in the vacant dining hall.
Yeah, I'm kind of shook actually after having this fire door slammed on me, and I stand in this empty hall for a minute, examining my surroundings, and I decide to take the stairs up. I'm gonna go upstairs.
Perfect. Yeah, you reach the second floor, and yeah, all these rooms up here are open. You sort of peek in, you see that there's an office, there's like a storage room. On the far side, there looks to be a sort of a nondescript room that doesn't seem to have any particular function to you. There's it's like a filing cabinet, there's a desk and chair in here. There's some cleaning utensils. It doesn't really prescribe itself to one particular thing. Just got a sort of bunch of odds and sods in it.
And you said there's a staircase leading up again. Now, Emily and Aaron said that they live in here. So I think being the person that I am, caring about people's privacy, not really noticing that anything is like terribly wrong right now, I probably want to give them their space. So I'd probably just maybe keep to myself upstairs here. Maybe try to do a little bit of spying.
Okay, give me some
on
rolls.
Yeah, I just want to, now that I'm like up a level and it's a balcony, as you mentioned,
I will
I
say
can like
this.
see down into the
nondescript room is opposite the balcony where two rooms lie side by side, and the nondescript room is about the size of one of those rooms, but there's no room on the other side of it. Additionally,
confused. I'm very confused about everything that you just said.
Everything?
Yes.
You know what?
Talking about opposite a balcony, because I pictured that the balcony sort of ringed the circumference of the dining hall portion, that you could see down on the dining hall from all angles, and that the room sort of shot off like 360.
I'm going to show you.
I'm excited to see it.
You better be.
I am.
You
Look at me.
Be.
Ah! That's the excited face and sound.
Okay, so see this?
Yes.
So this is the entrance on the first level.
Got it.
You walk in, all the mess tables are here, blah, 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 blah. The area that you talk to is under this balcony, but this whole area that we're looking at is basically the second floor.
Yep.
You can walk up these stairs, and now you're on the second floor. These doors that lead in, these are the doors to the second story. Oh, wait a minute. How did I draw this?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Oh, fuck. I did this wrong. In my mind, it made so much sense. Okay, you talk amongst yourselves. Justin,
Harlan,
tell us what you're thinking.
I'm asleep. I've passed out on the rock. I can only read for about 30 minutes.
Are you still talking to this chick?
No, she left. She left without a trace, kind of. She just was like, interesting, and then backed away, like smiling creepily.
Like into the bushes?
Yeah.
Like the Simpsons
like
gif?
Yeah. So I've been nodding off ever since she left.
Road trips take a lot out of you,
oh,
you know?
Road trips. I'm pretty much going off of 2 nights of crappy sleep because I've been so excited about like a project that I've got coming up, and just everything seems to be firing, and it always seems to fire at 2 a.m. So I have finally relaxed enough, and my mind has calmed down to a point where I've just closed my eyes and I've just laid back on the rock, and I'm submitting to the potential of sleep.
Someone earlier in the Discord chat was describing your stats as someone who is way over caffeinated. Yes. Which I really liked.
Yes. Well, I ran out of coffee too. I wasn't going to drink that urine. So I'm not, I am not able to be overly caffeinated right now. So, but that is a apt description of my
I like, because the dex is really high, right? And did you have a high dex? And your
no, so
logic's really high. So your mind is like running circles around itself.
Like technically, like if we think about logic as just like facts, I'm probably not very logical, but I'm very active thinking. So I'm kind of using that as my logic, quote unquote.
Have we got a floor plan, Harley?
Done right now.
So
okay,
sweet.
Let's try this again. I did first and second floor. So this is the first floor. You walk in here. There's a staircase to your left. This is sort of the large storm shutter that you could talk to the kitchen, and these are all the tables in the center. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Walking up these stairs brings you to the second floor. So it wraps around the whole thing. So as you walk up, there are 2 doors on this wall and the stairs that lead up on the far side. But opposite them on the other side is only 1 door. This sits over this. Any questions about that?
No. So the 2 rooms on the south of the paper there's like an office room.
That's one that's office and storage
room, and then the one on the north side is sort of questionable purpose. I'm gonna like hook all the way around to the part of the balcony that is looking over the stairs leading up. And also directly over the front door, and just kind of hang out there. I'm gonna do the like leaning on the balcony, staring off into space, ostensibly wondering why the fuck I'm here, and also just kind of keeping an eye on what's happening below.
So you are going to be waiting here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the stairs leading up, just to let you know, are over here.
I mean the stairs leading up to the second floor.
Perfect, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, sure. Why don't you give me a logic roll?
Yeah. I fail very bad.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get the impression of anybody talking. And Justin, you said you're sleeping.
Yeah. We can roleplay a dream now if you want, but probably.
I want to know what you're up to, Harlan.
It's a dreamless sleep. Yeah, wouldn't you?
Hey!
What? You left me to die.
I didn't.
No, I don't think you're going to know what happened to me just yet. I think it's going to be a bit of a mystery. So, time goes on so slowly. You're not doing anything else, Joe, during this time? You're just going to wait there for the rest of it?
I mean, I'm not going to stay there for 4 fucking hours.
Yeah,
I'm going to hang
sure.
out for like 20 minutes. And then I'm probably going to... what'd I do? I saw the main building. I'll probably take a walk in between the outer buildings, like check out the cabins, see if I can meet some more of these occupants, get a sense for what kind of activities they're doing. So I would have seen the number of tables at the mess hall seats.
Yes.
So I can get kind of an idea of how many people are here. You said there's 6 like double tables, so I might think maybe 70 total.
Yeah, that's
like max.
Fair. Yeah.
So I'm looking for some of these people. We've seen just a couple of them. You said there's some people playing soccer. I'm not very interested in physical activity, so I'm gonna take myself for a walk around the cabins, get some fresh air.
Perfect.
Stretch my legs after this long.
Yeah, you walk by a cabin with an open door, and there are people inside, and they're sort of shouting and laughing. And
shouting?
You sort of peek in. Yeah, you peek in, and you see they're playing like a game. There's a deck of cards in the center of the table, and there's 4 of them sitting around. And they sort of pay no attention to you as you walk in. The sort of vibe of this place is very open, walking in, walking out. And there's a young man who grabs a card. He's like, okay. And he slaps the card to his forehead with it facing out. And he closes his eyes. And there's like a pause. And then all 3 of them at the same time say it. Queen of Spades, Queen of Spades. Oh, drat. The person who says it first like laughs and sort of claps. And she's excited. And she's like, okay, my turn. And she picks the card and slaps on her forehead, and again there's a long pause. She closes her eyes and thinks. And again, at the same time, they're all like, Ace of Spades! Oh! Frustratingly, but also having like a bit of a humor. Finally, another one picks up the card and sees you, slaps it on her forehead, says, okay, hold on. And she waits. And she thinks.
The face is like not apparent.
Sorry, the face is towards the person. Sorry, not out in. I meant the backs are out. So the people guessing can't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I walk in.
And she goes, okay, hold on. You. And she slaps a card, and you see the back of this card. She says, tell me what it is. And she closes her eyes and thinks. Give me a roll.
4.
Logic,
Being the person
power,
I am.
empathy.
I'm immediately
I'm not telling you what it's for.
I'm not a superstitious person. I'm a skeptic, right? So I'm looking around the room for the trick.
Yeah, and as you were sitting there, you hear something in your brain. It's like a whisper. And it says...
Did she look at the card before
No.
she put it on her head? Okay.
And it says, 4 hearts. And she like waits expectantly.
I just look at her.
And the others sort of wait, and they're kind of like, it's okay if you don't.
4.
And they all
4?
start kind of like smile a little bit.
I'm sorry. I'm Joe. It's nice to meet you.
And the card falls, and it's the 4 hearts is like lands straight up, and like, oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. It's tough the first time. And they'll sort of stand up and walk over, and they're like, hi, yeah, and they introduce themselves.
I'm sorry. What just happened? I thought I heard something.
The guy who introduced himself as Tate sort of gives like a knowing smile to the other 3. He's probably the oldest of the others, and he's sort of got blonde curly
They're all
hair.
in white clothes.
Yeah, and he sort of turns back towards you and says, Don't worry about it. You'll see tonight. Or at least you'll have a better idea tonight, I should say.
What's happening tonight? I heard we're going to the island.
Yeah, and they all kind of share a look between each other and say, yeah, tonight's the night we've been waiting for a long time.
Really? So it's just coincidence that we showed up. Sorry, we're just looking for my friend.
Yeah,
you know
you're Alex's friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he? I've been looking everywhere.
Oh, you'll have to talk to Aaron about that. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. What's happening tonight?
And again, they're sort of nervous, and the three of them are sort of like, it's okay, and they sort of all say goodbye to Tate, who's still standing, and they leave the room, and it's just you and Tate in the room after a minute, and he's like, tonight's just it's gonna be it's gonna be the night.
What does that mean? I'm so confused.
Give me a charisma roll.
All right. I failed.
Yeah, he's just like, don't worry, you'll see. And he walks past you and exits the office or the room.
Motherfucker.
Justin, you sort of wake from your nap, and the sun is close to setting. You're sort of near the water side. The book is folded on your lap. You feel a bit more refreshed. And yeah.
Yeah, so I can tell that it's been, what, like half an hour, 45 minutes or so?
Maybe longer. It's tough. Between the two of you, you've killed about two hours-ish.
Yeah.
Wow, that's longer than I expected to sleep.
Yeah, and it looks like the sun's going to be set in about an hour.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit cooler. And I'm going to groggily make my way up the shore and see if I can find Joe and Harlan.
Perfect. And yeah, you come out to the break in the trees. You sort of see people moving inside their houses and getting ready for, I guess, the evening. And you see Joe walking out from a outcropping building towards you, and the two of you meet up.
Hey.
Hey.
Where you been?
Oh, I just had the best nap on a rock.
Hell yeah.
It was nice.
That's
Where's
good. I don't know. I was hoping that you were with him.
No. I figured he was with you.
Oh shit. Harlan!
Well.
Harlan!
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hear anything.
Well, I go looking for you.
Good luck.
You told me that you were gonna go and check out to look for like a way out of the camp or whatever.
Yeah. So you're gonna start looking at the border?
Yeah, I take a walk out to the fences.
Sure. So you start looking at the fences. Justin, as you're strolling around town, a woman walks up to you.
Mm-hmm.
She's sort of an older, maybe early 50s Asian woman who sort of smiles at you and says, I have your accommodations ready. If you'd like to follow me, I don't know where your friends are, but you can let me know. You can let them know when you see them.
I thought I was with Joe.
Or are you going with Joe to find me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we miss you. Where you at?
I don't know if you're going to find me. Give me a logic roll.
I'm gonna find you.
I don't know. You kind of left me to die.
Nope. I'm gonna find you. I got a 1. So.
Ooh, natural 1.
All right, Justin,
much
you roll
better
1
do
too.
I have to get?
You roll a logic roll as well.
All right. A success.
That's not a success.
I've got 5 logic, baby.
See? Double success, and I fucking murdered that roll. So you better be live and well.
Fine. You guys are walking through the woods, and yeah, after a few seconds, you hear some crunching, and I like come out a little sweaty.
You're eating.
Like, oh. No, I'm just like sweating and got a bit lost. I'm like, hey, oh, there you guys are. These woods are a lot bigger than they seem.
Wow.
I
knew
miss
you'd be eating corn nuts.
Come here. Mwah.
Wait, what did you find in the woods? Did you find anything?
A bag of chips. This guy's crunching up.
I didn't
to
eat
us.
anything. I didn't find anything. What are you talking about? No, I found. I think I found a way out actually.
Oh, cool. Where is it?
Well, it's sort of it's tough to explain, but I know the way if we had to get to it. Long story short, if for whatever reason we're uncomfortable and we can't make it through the front, then we, have a way out. By the way, did you
Good.
see? Did you? Is the car still there?
Yeah.
Let me remember.
You were by the lake, Joe. You walked by the mess hall, and when you walked by it, no, it was gone. It wasn't there.
It wasn't there. They moved it.
Correct.
I don't know, actually. I don't really remember where we parked it because of my shitty sense of direction.
That's okay. It's one of those things that you like forget. Look, it's been a bit overwhelming. Let's just go back.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I did see a different car, which was a different color, but that could have been ours. I'm very confused visually and spatially. I tell the two of you what happened to me in the mess hall with Tate and the cook.
Okay. Well, that's a bit.
Wait, so you
It was really weird.
You heard the words?
Well, they said, like, the cook was well, he told me that we had to get out.
Okay.
That we should leave.
Someone told you that we had to leave?
Yeah, and I didn't really get to talk to him, so it wasn't clear to me whether he was just like, this place is a total drag, you should go, or whether there was something deeper. And then this guy came in, introduced himself as Tate, and he was talking about how busy they were, how much stuff they had to get done. And then I said, yeah, like, that's why I'm here. I know when we were in the kitchen, I'd be happy to help. And he slammed the door on me. Very strange.
And you still want to stay?
I mean, it's your brother. We drove 5 hours to be here.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I don't know what that is. I think we need to ask this Aaron guy if Alex is here, and if he's not, I think we should leave.
Okay.
I'm getting a really uncomfortable feeling about this place.
Well, I'm with you, Justin.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to see Alex. We did come all this way, so let's see if we can find him at least. Yeah.
We head back out to the sort of main open area, and middle-aged Asian woman comes up to us and says, "We have your quarters ready for the evening," and points us in the direction of a building. And we start heading towards it, and I sort of eye the front of the mess hall where the van was parked, and I say, like, I'm going to go ask what they did with my van.
Yeah, it's moved, right? You have the key?
I have the key on me, still.
Okay, that's very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Let's definitely figure out what happened to the car. They did not have our permission to move the car.
No.
Let's go.
And we head over to the main pavilion area and inside, and there's like 3 people sort of putting like dishes out and stuff like that. And the vibe is very serious for some weird reason. And I kind of walk up to someone and I'm like, "Hi, have you seen Aaron?" And the guy's just like, "No." And I'm like, "My van was out front. Do you know where they moved it to?" And he's just kind of like, and I'm like, dismiss him. And I turn to Joe and I'm like, have you seen Aaron since we met him, or Emily, or?
No, but this is fucking enough. And I just clap my hands. I'm like, hello, excuse me. Hi, my name's Joe. I'm new here. I really need to speak with Emily or Aaron. Does anyone know where they are?
This like foghorn sounds out over the complex. And almost reactively, the person setting the dishes, the people working behind the kitchen, sort of just set down what they're doing and start filing out of the building.
Hello? Can you fucking hear me?
What the fuck?
What kind of keys do you have, Harlan?
I have my van keys. They're like, and I pull them out and they're like the plastic.
Hit that panic button.
Yeah, hit the fob. Hit the panic button.
Hey, that's a good idea. I start pressing it and the key lights up, but we don't hear anything. Maybe I need to be outside. We head outside and you see people filing from their like houses and stuff like that. They're wearing their same things, but this time they're wearing like a white hood as well. Not like a KKK hood, just like a hoodie hood. And they're all walking and filing towards the woods. And the sun is like completely setting as I'm like pressing the panic key and looking towards you two. I'm panicking in this and in real life.
Okay. Not great. I don't like any of this. What's with the uniforms? What's with the foghorn? Why is the van missing? Where is it? Where's Alex?
And I
I don't
turn to
want to go with
somebody.
these
I'm
people.
like, "Where are you going?" And the person just like looks to us like, it started. Let's go." And they
No,
continue
what are you
walking, like,
talking about?
excitedly.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, well, all right, wait, well, hold on, guys. And I kind of move you over to the side. I say, listen, this is fucked. This is weird. You were right, Harlan, Joe. This is messed up. But they have your van. We're in the middle of nowhere. I think that causing a scene isn't going to help us out. I think that we have to go along with them and make it seem like we're friends of theirs. Those are just my thoughts. I think we should follow the crowd, so to speak.
My blood runs cold as I recognize what Justin is saying is totally true. That no matter what my instinct is here, we are helpless to a certain degree. Everything that I had packed in my bag is gone. I didn't pull any of my bags out of the van. I'm here with my two friends, my boyfriend, one of my best friends, and we have nothing. We are with a bunch of strangers who are definitely part of some sort of insidious cult, and there's no way to get out of here. And the closest establishment, a 20-minute drive away, was some hick yokel. What are we gonna do?
Look, we have an option. I found a hole in the fence. We can get out somehow. The thing is, someone cut that hole as well. This wasn't something that I just found like a tree fallen through. Someone cut a hole. And as I'm talking in a hushed tone, the last people are filing out of their buildings and moving towards the woods. I'm not saying I disagree with following through with this shit, but I'm just saying that if we need to, we can just get out.
Okay. Is it in the direction that everyone is walking right now?
Yeah, it's if you walk through the path, it's off to the right, sort of straight back. Then there's like a willow tree that's weirdly out of place around that straight, and then sort of along the fence to the left, there's a hole.
Well, okay, well, what are we going to do when we get out?
I don't know. That's why I'm saying I'm not against what you're saying, but I'm just saying that the van's not the only thing we need.
I mean, we can hitchhike if we don't find the van. Potentially. It's not a well-used road, but...
The last few people are exiting into the woods, and I lean back and say,
guys,
look, at the very least, if we are going, I don't want to be the last people there.
Yeah, no, I think we should go.
Okay.
I'm going to go, but if you guys want to come, I'll save a spot for you.
No, I'm coming with.
Let's go.
Harlan, let's... Fuck.
We all start moving down the short hill towards the woods. Again, the woods at night now feel dark, oppressive. There seems to be a fog rolling in. And as we reach the lone dock towards the island, it seems to be lit by candles all along the way. The last people step off the far end of the dock, sending like a ripple towards our end as we nervously share a look and begin walking across. Step by step, the bobbing of it sets our stomachs sort of up and down as we move closer and closer to the flickering firelight of a massive campfire that sits off in the center of the island. And as we reach the end of the dock and set foot on the pine needle covered ground of the island, we see the mass of 70 people standing around the fire. On this island there is a large crest of trees, but more bizarrely above it seems to be foggy. A cloud has set down in the dark sky, starless above us. It is absolutely abyssal black and thick like smoke above the lake. Well,
I'd like to get settled with the two of you somewhere on the perimeter, the external perimeter, of a circle closest to the way we came from.
Yeah, of course, and we do. And there's sort of like logs strewn about. Despite its cult-like feel, it still has this camp vibe where people have turned back their hoods a little bit and they're sort of talking nonchalantly. The energy is palpable excitement, and combined with like a suppressing of seriousness. It's a difficult back and forth between people who are so clearly excited for whatever tonight brings, and people who are trying their best to maintain the serenity of this ritual. And as we sort of find a quiet area, Callie, the woman who sat next to you on the beach, Justin, sort of walks up next to you and threads her fingers between yours and sits next to you comfortably and says, "Aren't you excited? I'm so glad you came."
I honestly don't know what's gonna happen, so can't say if I'm excited or not, but it's definitely interesting.
It's gonna be great. Don't worry. Aaron flicks back his hood and stands on the far side of the fire and says, "Ladies and gentlemen of the collective, it is finally here." And there's sort of a combination of hushed awe and excitement. Again, that energy ripples through the crowd as the hairs on the back of our necks stand up. We still have just a little bit of time before the end. And I thought maybe it would be nice to show them exactly what they are in for by joining the collective tonight, and how lucky they truly are. And the crowd, all 70 of them, turns towards us, staring the three of us down. Callie, inches from your face, smiling at you. Almost silently, Aaron turns and says, "Which of you wants to try first?"
I don't know what you're talking about.
And there's sort of like a bit of a laugh. It's like, okay, I think Joe wants to try first. Come on up. And
nope.
There's like a clap.
Thank you. I stand up. Thank you. Hi, I'm Joe. I've already met you, Aaron. Thank you so much for having us here. We're really excited to see the facilities. I'm just really curious about what's going to happen. Feeling very nervous, and I would like some explanation. First, please, just to kind of assuage my fears.
And again, there's like a laughter throughout the crowd. Why don't you give me a charisma roll?
Okay. I'm gonna add a positive dice because I'm well spoken.
Yes, you are.
Good spoked.
Good spoked.
Good spoken.
You well
Thank
spoken.
you. I did one positive.
Yeah, so you see there's sort of like consideration in Aaron. He sort of looks down. He's like, fair. I think we all have been where Joe has been. We all understand the nervous energy in our stomachs, not understanding what we stand on the cusp of. And he points up. So, shall we show her, or shall we tell her? And you hear all at once, but sort of sporadically, they say, show, tell, show. He says, okay, I think we will show her. I say, but Joe is uncomfortable to come up. Justin seems more eager. Justin, would you like to be the first?
I share a glance with Joe.
I am shaking my head.
Yeah. And I removed my clammy hand from Callie's, and
uproarious applause from the audience, or the people, I should say, as you stand up and move around the large bonfire towards Aaron, who removes his sort of like shawl type thing and stands in what you first saw him and says, okay. He turns towards the mess of trees and the thick cloud that overlooks the lake. Again, you can barely see above the tops of the trees. It is just abyssal black, and from the sidelines a man walks out with a large coil of rope, thick, heavy ship rope, and maybe 30 to 50 feet long. He says, all right, and they each take a spool of this and swinging it back and forth and back and forth. Everyone sort of watches in expectation when they throw the rope holding one end as it unfurls into the darkness. And rather than fall flat along the surface of the water, it goes taut into the black darkness of the sky. He kind of grabs it and says, okay, all right, here, Justin. And he hands you the end of the rope.
What's on the other end?
Again, nervous laughter and sort of few claps as you can feel the tug the minute you take it. You can feel this something pulling on one end of it. Give me a strength roll. Vitality.
Dexterity or
Let's
vitality?
say vitality.
Oh boy. My sprinting won't help me now. All right. Fail.
Yeah, it leaches out of your hands just a little bit, but you kind of grab tighter, and people sort of laugh and clap as you kind of give a pull back to it. He says, "It's okay, it's okay, it's all right." Again, this rope is extended off into the darkness. There is nothing from what you can see above you except for a black cloud. Joe and I are watching this sort of wide-eyed and confused.
What do you do, Harlan?
I wait for you to move. I'm like, this makes me pretty uncomfortable.
Does Justin look like he's about to lose his footing?
A little bit. It's sort of more joyous than that. There's sort of people are excited about it.
It's not like a tug of war so much as a fishing rod situation?
No, it's sort of like yeah, sort of. It's sort of like a back and forth between the two. It's sort of like a game. It's not really an attempt at anything per se, but more a show of force.
The audience, the other campgoers, are like stoked.
Yeah, they're like leaning forward on their arms and they're like clapping as they watch Justin sort of tug, and both you and I are like wide-eyed at this. Nothing we can see makes any sense. This rope looks like it's being pulled taut into the sky above us practically, and actually as Justin's holding it, sort of moves up higher and then back down.
Oh my god. Is there any possibility that I can sneak away from the firelight without being observed?
Yeah, probably.
Everyone is looking at Justin. They're looking at this rope.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a dexterity roll.
Okay. I am sneaky.
Yeah, you
So
are.
I would like
you
to
get two
try
positives.
to use that. I succeed.
Yeah, so you stand up, not even telling me, and you sneak away from the fire.
Bye.
Nice to know where I stand.
Yep, see ya. I slowly back away from the fire.
Yeah, and you reach the edge of the dock.
I'm not going to leave the island. I don't know how I would do that. Did we get here by boat?
No, we walked across the dock.
We just walked. So the dock goes from the mainland to the island.
Yeah, it's just like a straight man-made dock.
I just want to be out of the firelight.
You don't even tell me this? You just like walk away from me?
No, I obviously am like pulling at your elbow like, Harlan.
Oh, why stand up and leave too?
Come with me.
Fuck yeah. Why would I stay? Gosh, you just really
Because
want me
you
to
love
die.
Justin so much.
Well, and I start moving around and I start walking towards the back with you. I should roll sneak as well. Maybe I ruin it for you.
Don't ruin it for me.
I'm gonna try not to, but I succeed.
Yeah!
The two of us sneak to the back. Justin, you feel this powerful force tugging at the end of this rope. What do you feel as you're doing it?
Oh, it's like an entire jolt to my entire body.
Yeah.
It just like pulls me. I can sense in one tug the immense strength that's on the other end of this.
Yeah, and give me one more vitality roll.
Sure.
You can do it, Justin.
Okay. Oh, big fail.
Yeah.
No.
With one massive tug, the rope comes loose from your hands and zips off into the darkness to like uproarious laughter and sort of applause from everybody. And Aaron slaps a hand on your shoulder and says, "Hey, it's not easy. by any means, but I hope that shows you and your friends. And as he looks towards us, he realizes that you and I are gone.
Where are you?
We're standing at the dock. I'm following Joe's lead. Are we doing anything, or are we just standing there?
No, I'm just standing at the dock.
So he's gonna like see us, right? Like it's not too far away.
Well, I'm imagining the way that people's visions get when you're in the dark and you're looking at a fire.
Okay, so
then
he's
you
sort
look
of squinting.
outside the.
I'll say this. I'll do logic for him. See what he thinks. See if he can suss out what's going on. Get out of here. Fuck off.
Give him a negative
Steam.
dice.
What the hell's Steam doing? We'll just do it. Whether succeeds or not. And he doesn't. He looks and he's like, well, sorry, Justin. It seems like your friends didn't want to stay. He turns towards you and says, but I hope this shows you exactly what kind of force is about to befall at the end. It's just a few moments now, everyone. And he looks around to everyone who's like anxious and anticipating.
No one else wants a turn?
No, you kind of get the impression that this is something that you've all done before. Like this is something that's happened to each of them when they came here.
Has anybody managed to hold on to it?
No one can hold on to it, he says, sort of dismissively. It's only how long you can hold on, much like life itself. Everyone dies, Justin. We just have to hope that we can hold on as long as possible. And as he says that, both Joe, Justin, and myself hear a crack. Unlike the crack of thunder, which we've come to recognize and understand from years of growing up, it's a crack that sounds unlike anything. It's a crack like... I don't know if you've ever been so lucky or unlucky, as some would say, to experience lightning up close. When I was a kid at my cottage, a tree was struck by lightning maybe 15 feet from me. There's a feeling that cuts through your core. You can feel it in your chest, and afterwards you can breathe, tasting the iron of your lungs because of the heat of experiencing it so close. That feeling drags across each of us like hot coals and lasts the length as every single person around the fire cowers with a crack so loud and thunderous it sounds like it splits the very world.
Do we see lightning, or is it just a feeling?
Beyond the thick blackness above us, there is a bright light. And yet, what lies directly over the fire, this darkness, is covering us. And looking up, as we each sort of do, responding to this crack, the illumination behind it gives it definition for the first time, and what we see writhing in the sky above us is not a cloud at all, but a massive creature. Its long tendrils spiraling out like squid-like limbs, its huge amorphous shape, thousands and thousands of meters across, spans almost the entire sky above the lake, and in a moment of absolute terror, it fills each of us to our core as the people around the fire almost start laughing maniacally, looking up at the bright light behind the creature that lies directly above us. Justin, what do you do?
I wait. I look to the others around me, and I look back up, and I just try to follow Aaron's lead.
Yeah, they all sort of... He stands, and he like opens his arms, and he's like, I welcome you as I always have. Joe, what are you doing?
Coward that I am, I throw myself to the sand, curl up in a ball, and then as I see this form unveiling itself in the sky, I start scrabbling backwards on all fours onto the dock and away as fast as I can without getting up.
Perfect. And I help you up and start scrabbling across the dock as well. So you and I start running back towards the main land. Justin.
I'm gonna look around. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm alone. I don't know where you guys went, so I'm just kind of following the lead of everyone around me. And as I look around the faces, on some level, it occurs to me that I should look for Alex.
Yeah.
I scan the crowd.
Yeah.
And see if I can see him there.
Yeah, for the first time, you start scanning the crowd to see if you can find Alex, but you don't. You don't actually see him sitting amongst the crowd.
And so I'm going to ask, Aaron, where's Alex? What happened to him?
And he says, sort of like with a smile, and looking between each of the faces, the ones that aren't laughing, all of them grinning, their sort of faces are twisted in sort of a pleasure, accepting the end, like this sort of excitement in the way that they are experiencing it, looking up. And he sort of turns towards you and says, Alex didn't want to experience this. He didn't want to live through this. And so he decided another path was for him. Join me, Justin. Let us watch together. And he looks back up towards the sky with like a hand outstretched, waiting to hold you.
And I, without even thinking, I look towards the docks, which I can't really see because it's too dark. And I look back towards Aaron. And I reach out and I take his hand.
Joe and I, we start running to the other side of the dock, and as we do, the water is so much rougher now. Everything feels uncomfortable and uneven. And as we reach the land, our feet hit with sort of a rumbling thunder. At first it feels like ourselves, but the entire earth feels quaking. There's wind that's been stirring up that seems again otherworldly as we look towards the woods. And I turn towards Joe and I say, I know where the exit is. Do you want me to show you? Should we go? I don't think
we have to go right now.
I pull you towards the woods and we start moving through, branches whipping past us, and eventually we reach the large willow tree, which is actually split, sort of bizarrely so, revealing the inner sort of greenery of it. We move around and reach the fence, and I touch it in the dark, and I start running alongside of it as the wind is whipping wildly. It's barely visible with so much debris from the ground sort of turning and swirling around us, and eventually I see the hole, and I sort of open it to gesture you through, to move you through.
And I follow you. The wind is like clawing at my hair and at our clothes, and despite the darkness, we make it out and we're safe and we escape happily ever after. Sorry, Justin.
One would only hope. We continue moving through the woods for a long while. Perhaps an hour. We continue running and running as the wind gets wilder and wilder. It seems
I keep
like
asking you to hit the button on your fob.
Yeah,
the whole time,
and eventually we sort of just give up, putting it in our pockets as the wind seems turning the trees around us. Eventually, there's smells and senses that are encompassing the air out here that turn our stomachs. Eventually, we walk through the woods and feel like we're experiencing some sort of rotting corpse before turning a corner and heading another direction. The environment out here seems so much different than within the compound. It seems uncomfortable. And eventually we break the edge of the tree line to come across a farm. In the distance, there's the dull illumination of a house and a brighter light lying within the barn. We hear the chugging of an engine over the sound of the wind above us, and for the first time, breaking from the canopy of trees, we look up to see the sky filled with objects, creatures, not unlike the one that we saw over the campfire, but something about these ones larger, more spanning of the ground, and hand in hand we run towards the edge of the barn. leaning up
Yeah.
against it. We can hear the chugging of an engine inside.
We're out of breath, and as you and I run up to this building, I'm using the last of my constitution, I guess,
Yeah.
to like sputter a scream, like, help! Is there anyone inside? Help! Just trying to get anyone's attention, anyone that might be outside, anyone looking at the windows as we run up to these buildings.
We pull aside the barn door with the wild wind covering your voice completely to see a vehicle. However, it's strewn in sort of a black webbing. Spore-like pustules sort of lie at the foot, and the far end of this barn is open. Stuck to the side of the car is a farmer, or what once was a farmer, and as we sort of survey the scene, we realize one of the long tendrils is running up from the far side of the barn and directly up towards the sky above. Nervously, we share a look for only a moment.
Clutch at your arm, like, are you seeing this?
And we're both going to do dexterity rolls with 2 negatives.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I fail across the board.
I succeed and take a strain.
You succeed with a 6?
What? Oh, no, sorry, I was looking at the yellows. Never mind. Wait, 2 negatives?
Yeah.
I take 2 strain.
Yeah, well, not quite. Because what happens is this. You and I feel the piercing in the back of our spines before anything
I need
else. I know. Well, not where we're going. The tendril sort of cuts into our backs, and the first thing we feel is it running through our veins. The black-like liquid it pumps into us starts covering our bodies, filling each gap and crevice of us as it begins to convert whatever blood and fluid we had our body into a dry sand-like substance. You can feel essentially decomposition from the inside out as we share a look and a final kiss as the skin around us cracks and crumbles. Luckily, we are dead before the finality of our body, or whatever remains, lands against the dirt floor of the barn, and whatever remains is drawn up into the dark sky. The young creature that was found 30 years ago, buried beneath the earth of the original Camp Cotija, treated those who came afterwards as its pet. Through various means of communication, it allowed those to live under it, and it told them that it would protect them when the incoming invasion came. Alex, having been converted by these people himself, wrote 3 of his best friends, hoping to save them as well. But unfortunately, only one chose to stay, to live out the remainder of his days beneath the alien rule of those who came to take over our world. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, that was The End of the World, the longest song. Good job, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you.
You didn't
Good
think
job,
you were doing the right thing, did you?
Well, it felt like the smart thing, to be
Yeah.
honest. I don't know, just going with the crowd.
Hey, I'm not against it. Good job, guys. That was really good.
That was awesome. Well done. Joe, you were fantastic as well.
Oh, you're muted, baby.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys did great. Harlan, great story. Justin, congratulations on surviving the fucking apocalypse.
I will say this, first and foremost, yes, Johnny called it. I stole that rope tugging thing out of a movie called The Endless, which is an okay movie about a similar concept that I sort of based a lot of this around, but I took it in a better way, I think. Not better than the movie, because the movie on a whole is much, much better. But I thought that scene was really cool, but it didn't really go anywhere. Other than that, I want to give myself credit. Rob told us at 7:20 that he couldn't do a game, and I was like, we'll do End of the World. And I think that was a pretty fucking successful game for
you did a great job.
For a 40-minute prep.
Yeah. It felt very real.
That's the entirety of the notes.
See?
The collective
this is it, people.
End of the World. Hold on.
This is, you know, you want to aspire to be, you know, a solid DM. This is what you can work towards.
The collective cult angle summer camp, which actually was Joe's idea. Island, Camp Cotija, rope tugging, ascension / suicide. Those are my names list. I got cars won't start, red candles, alien ship, changing, spores, farm covered with spores, ? Web, something, and then at the bottom is just my stats.
Nice.
I want to say too, that Harlan, it was fantastic. Joe, I found you did, I think, the best out of staying in character as yourself.
Very much.
Like being able to, like, standing up and saying like, whoa, okay, I just would like to know, like, I don't know, that seemed very you. Like, what exactly are we getting into here? Like,
polite, but hey, I'm not volunteering.
My favorite was the clapping when she's like, clap, 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 clap. Listen, pay the fuck attention to me. I am not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That was very Joe, which I love. No, you guys did great. I'm really happy how that went. That felt really good. It felt really intense. It felt good. It felt like good mystery. I kind of had, it's funny because, like, obviously I was writing the story as it went, but I had a few options that, like, when you go to that pavilion, I was going to have an option to find a secret. That's why I drew it out, because I was going to basically be like, okay, if you decided to look over here, I was going to have a secret room, you know, so it's like parallel. That's why I was like, okay, that seems off.
Yeah.
That would lead down, and in the basement I was thinking you'd find like a uncovered, like something that was dug up, i.e. like the alien or like its ship or something. Sort of.
That's so funny.
Yeah, give you ways to be like, okay, maybe we should stay. Maybe they do have an alien.
And like in Call of Cthulhu, I would totally go and investigate the question mark room. But me, myself as Joe, I work in a hospital. I've worked there for 5 years. I still don't go onto other floors because I'm worried that someone's going to show up and be like, hey, you don't belong here. Even though I'm like wearing my ID badge and there was no locked doors.
Yeah.
I like just go to the cafeteria and to the bathroom and to my lab because
you did great.
I don't want to be like out of place.
I think you did it perfectly. Justin's so right. And, no, you did really, really great. I think it all worked really well. I was excited for the options that you guys did, and the little weird things, like the way that like the alien has been infecting them, like allowing them to do sort of mind control with like the cards and shit. And
did they just
Yeah.
kill Alex? What was the whole thing?
Well, my thinking was Alex got cold feet like right before the end. Like he was like really convinced, and then maybe he went into the basement, or maybe he talked to like the cook, who was like, this is all fucked up. Like the cook is basically like a doubt. He's like a person who's doubted it.
I was meant to ask you if I saw him at the ritual, like if he was there.
Yeah, no.
No.
He was just like,
one more question I have for you in your brain.
Yeah.
You love a willow tree. Was there something about the willow tree? You talked about it exploding when the lightning hit.
Yeah, I had something in there that sort of would have turned us back if we wanted to, but I didn't really have an idea what it was going to be. There's lots. My GMing style is like plant 100 seeds and then see what grows as it comes up. You know what I mean? Like, that's sort of how I was like, okay, we'll just do that. It's so funny though, but because it also shows my like huge faults in DMing, because as we're running this, when I described the camp, like the minute, well, it's funny because you can make mistakes into advantages, i.e. when we went up, the entrance to the camp was going to be that little arm, right? And then I'm like, well, hold on, how are they're going to be able to leave whenever they want? And it should feel a bit more oppressive. So as we're driving by that, I'm like, okay, this is now built on another camp. And I'm like, but why would they buy out the old camp? I'm like, okay, because they found an alien. That one mistake wrote the story, because I was like, I need now to think about a reason why the old camp would exist outside of it, and then why this new thing was like constructed on top.
Double camp.
Well, it's just funny how mistakes sometimes can like help you write more of the game.
You're good at thinking on your feet like that. And I think, Justin, you're good at that too, i.e. you're like thinking outside the box, where you'll say something and someone will be like, oh, that's weird, why is that? And you'll like, oh, that is weird. But on the spot, the two of you are going to create something not only that makes sense, but something that makes the story kind of more interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's collaborative for all of us, right?
It is, for sure. I think that this one felt different for me somehow. I don't know if it was like just my headspace. I think I knew pretty early on that like, unless they were like murdering people, I was probably gonna go around with people. like, it sounded kind of nice. Like, you know, you don't get chased by flying aliens. Yeah. They can mind read, though I didn't know that at the time. But I think that's interesting too. Like, it would be interesting to see where this would go, because the like them being brainwashed. Like, part of me was thinking, oh, I'll just escape later. That's like hesitating kind of mentality.
Well, it's funny because if this were longer, yeah, I probably would have, well, I would have probably forced you to come with us anyway, but then it would have just been a straight up alien invasion game where Joe and I are trying to survive against these like creatures that like are
War of the World style.
That's exactly what it would have been. And to me, I was tempted to do that, but I'm kind of like, you know what, let's do less roles, more intrigue, more mystery, not worry so much about like getting to the action, because to me the action is like the minute we say go and just start having fun. Like, that's the fun stuff to start doing. And I will do a comment real quick, just because Legit Beef commented and he said, I was worried about playing a character and DMing, but your character really drove the story in a passive way. That, if that makes sense, well done. And I want to say, yeah, and I've with End of the World, I've GM'd with myself in it a few times. And I would say one of the best things that you can do is have your character be the loudest logic to force the other characters to do the story you want. And I've done this a few times. You guys are just veteran players. Regardless of how I would have done it, you still would have been like, well, let's investigate, because you know, you're of that mindset where you want to play out the story. But like with cons, I played in the world and I'll put myself into it, and all I'll do is either kill myself at the beginning, or I'll be like, I'll be the audience, meaning that if it's a zombie apocalypse, I'll be the one to be like, guys, it's zombies, let us please fucking kill the first person we see. That forces the players to be more like, well, let's not be crazy here, because no one wants to really agree with the GM, right? Whereas if you're the GM being like, I don't know, guys, they're gonna be like, well, it's fucking zombies. So it's like funny to kind of play that super logical meta player in a way that like doesn't believe anything. And in this game I was like, oh, they're cults, let's just fucking get out of here. And again, you guys would have done it anyway, but it would force more naive players to be like, well, maybe we should poke around a little bit. You
can be a catalyst for events without driving everything in the story. Exactly. You can just be like, okay, well, let's understand it's zombies or it's aliens or whatever, and then continue to let the characters make all this.
You're also getting
it was an excellent platform.
Yeah, you're speaking out the thoughts of the players. Maybe not the player characters, but like the people who are playing, you're sort of saying them so that they're not the like, guys, we fucking know it's zombies, why are we bothering here? If you put yourself in the position to say that, then they're going to be like, well, okay, maybe we should try this more seriously. It's funny.
Yeah, story-wise, I think it adds a lot, like, because the characters can, like you say, they can kind of fight that and kind of create a bit of conflict, but because you're the passive character, you just go along with whatever they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep. But it's tough sometimes, obviously, because I know there were points there where Joe was like, well, I want to know what Harlan would do in this scenario. And it's like, but I don't. Equally, I want to give you the freedom. It's the same issue I have with like Abdul in the Call of Cthulhu game. You know, he's sort of my voice. I want to be logical, and I don't want to do Abdul a disservice. At the same time, I want you guys to push the story forward, not the NPCs, because that's just me. Anyway, a lot of fun. Who should we do the end game XP to?
Great question. We had so many good people on the Discord tonight. So many new voices.
Oh, bye, Joe. Let's do someone new.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
She's back.
Change your mind, eh?
I accidentally navigated away from the window.
You're funny.
All I was going to say is that we have a lot of funny people on the Discord, a lot of new people on the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys thinking?
Someone new. Blind Sniper, maybe?
Yeah.
Blind Sniper had a few good comments.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, Blind Sniper.
So Blind Sniper,
let's call it.
You win Endgame XP.
Blind Sniper, if you haven't already joined the Facebook group, join the group. I can add you to the XP sheet.
Give us your real name.
And if you are in the group, let us know what your name is on Facebook so I can add you.
Finally, I will say next week, Justin is not here. So we are going to be running something else. We're not back at Call of Cthulhu next week, which, honestly, as much as it was exciting, it would have been nice to run Call of Cthulhu tonight. It's kind of nice because we just took a break from Call of Cthulhu. If we did one tonight, we'd have to take another break. So we'll just continue on doing a few others, and then we'll start. Because you're back next week, right?
The week after, yeah.
You're back the
3rd.
Yeah.
April 3rd, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be there. So we'll start Call of Cthulhu April 3rd, and we just have 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 4 more episodes, and I'm pretty sure we can do those all in a row. Right? 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's only 1 week. So it should be fine. And that way we won't have to do a break. But next week, we're going to do something else. I think Joe might run Dungeons and Dragons for Chris and I. Maybe I'll run something else. Maybe Chris will run his space game and Joe will substitute in for Justin. Who knows? Justin seems sad.
No, I'm
or
wondering.
Maybe something
Ellie.
totally else. You know what? Actually, I just thought, Joe, you and I also have that Star-Crossed Lovers game, which we should see if you.
I don't know if you guys want to watch some romance happen.
Well, it doesn't have to be like you can play a ship's AI and like an.
Oh, I'm gonna be a ship. For
I'm
sure.
Be a ship. Can we both two
we
ships?
Can, oh my God, we're both ships. I'm a sea ship and you're a spaceship.
That's amazing.
Never the two shall meet.
But if we can't rope Chris or Rob into a game or anyone else, then maybe we should just run that. Maybe that'll be it. Who knows? We will see. I didn't. Yes, Adam Ali, I did not use your XP, so you can have it back. I'm sorry, because at that point I knew that they were going to be punished. And I didn't want to change anything and use it up because it was the bad decision. Cute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful night and a great weekend. And as my good friend Joe always likes to say,
it's my bedtime.
It's my bedtime. Good night.
Bye.